NAVI mounting their attack. Last time it was 13-7 in NAVI on both maps that were played. They dominated the series despite losing a lot of the opening duels and rounds. These guys were always able to claw it back. Team Liquid, we heard from Emil in an interview earlier on their socials. Today it's all about focusing, staying calm, staying positive, and following their IGL. Well, Liquid are going to need to change a lot based on what we saw last time. On the attack side for NAVI, a slow start, but expected when it comes to this map.
I want to see what they've got as well. Like they've gone into a map selection. They watched NAVI play this map. They watched them demolish Vitality on it, and then they've decided to pick it when not playing it so far this year. So there must be something that Liquid have come in and are looking to counter. Yumpy up close, aggressive, a chance for a setup. But it hasn't really found anything. Yumpy's actually going to go pushing left, completely blind, but he still manages an opener here. Enzo will give the advantage over to Liquid and has some support still aggressively. Looking pretty good for them at this stage, but there's the Xiao Show. Always in the late round, this man comes alive.
Yeah, and he popped off in their last series as well, although there weren't many players that didn't. NAVI 2 versus 2, damage sustained, though Artis down to 21 HP and Xiao on 86. The utility from Liquid earlier managed to give them an upper hand, but now it's all about the gunfights. In fact, the paranoia might help as it pushes them back, and Mystic claiming the final kill. Gives a pistol round to Liquid, starting it out with a 1-0 lead.
Are you nervous, Mitch?
Very. I'm quaking. I woke up today, Tom, I thought about phoning in sick just to give Enzo the upper hand.
Well, the thing is, I'm now questioning, are Foot the best second round team in the world, or are Liquid the worst second round team in the world? Because that's what I'm waiting to see in this one, because that was the thing they struggled with versus Foot.
Yeah,
it was really had problems when it came to losing to classics and silly things. Speaking of something silly, Angel has bought an Outlaw in round number 2. The rest of the team look like they're just going to be saving here, obviously looking for the rifles in the next round. Actually, wait, no, did he buy it?
dropped him.
Xiao is not that much of a support player. This is unreasonable.
That's a tag. That's a wonderful tag off rip as well.
What do you think of the Ares on Enzo? I know you really like that gun.
Listen, in his hands, he can work magic, I'm sure, but it is still a gun that I am petrified of. Angel goes for light shields alongside the Outlaw, still going to be vulnerable to getting hit by Kiko's Outlaw, and so I imagine
Funnily enough, so is Kiko, who also has light shields.
Oh, that's true. And the benefit of this round is a lot of teams will go for it. Enzo had full shield, so he survives the first blast, but any 3 of the other players, excluding Nats, would have went down to that initial shot. Good trade out as the spike is now down, but the site control has been given up, and Zipan's able to pick up 1, but ultimately it's a clean second round, which is something I was robbed of saying in that series of Liquid v Foot.
Yeah, that is true. It didn't happen too often, but clearly something that they've worked on to improve. They even, I think, managed to retrieve themselves a second Outlaw as well, so this is definitely going to have a little bit of bite towards it. It seems like, okay, Angel has actually returned the favor and given Xiao the rifle back going into this round, so you're not going to see Xiao without a gun, and Angel's just going to be playing with the pistol. It definitely sets them off in a bit of an awkward place economically. Means that he might actually warrant the reason of running in first, as we see from him all the time.
His Gecko is mighty as well. But entering with the Sheriff, I'd love to see from Angel. He's just using his utility early on to clear up a lot of this control. And I think for Liquid, this is a round where they have a lot to work with those 2 Outlaws in terms of chip damage, but it's still hard to follow up on those kills in the initial fights. And a team like NAVI, they'll take that 140 and drop you right off rip. A tough round to find a lot of value from, but they can definitely do damage.
That's very tentative. From either side, in fact. Liquid not overly aggressing, only really Kiko, and he's got himself into a solid position. He's dangerous and just about manages to win that fight. A nasty tag in a round like this, that could definitely make the difference. You can see that Team Liquid are now starting to gamble their defenses on this C site. 3 players ready and waiting, and I look for a moment like that might get them the kill. Instead, though, they're going to start their rotation back towards this B site. Start putting pressure on. And that alone has pulled off the majority of the players from C.
They're quickly back in play. Cage's pop paranoia that Mystic had kept for a little bit later now finds its value with Angel going down to utility. But there it is, another tag coming through, this time to the legs. Makes it easier to finish them off. And with 2 players on 10 HP, this is a very winnable round for Nats. Sneaking around the back of the site, still denying the plant, but eventually they found a safe spot alongside that molly. 3 players to drop. Low HP now on all of them. Artis down to 67. And even though it's just a Spectre for Nats, it could work out. The Nano from afar, he knows it's there. He knows he has to destroy it. Instead, he's looking for the kill. It's a little greedy, but I like it. To try to thin out their numbers here and now. You assume there's something else coming. Artis has some utility. Can follow up on the trap. It's starting to look like damage might be the name of the game again. Diffusing this will be tough and impossible indeed with that pop flash from Artis. Well handled, Navi. A very patient round, and you can see why. They got a lot of value from playing slow and ended up with a very thin margin of success with about 100 HP between the 3 of them.
Yeah, they definitely got a little bit too close for comfort. I think even one of those duels goes back in the other direction, and it's very easily could have been a round for Liquid. A solid start for them, and that's the thing. That was what I was really worried about, is we already saw them last time they played. It did feel like, especially on the attacks, Navi blitzed them. There were halves where it was literally, a close first half and then a 7-0, an 8-0 attack side. So getting off to a solid start here is important. And already we're going to see them challenging for early control. Zipan's won that fight, though.
Oh, and another as well with the jump up. They didn't expect so many players to be here, and Yuppie is firing on all cylinders. Only Nats again, but this time the clutch much more winnable. Actually, more HP in play for his opponents than before, but less guns to fire back with. That said, the gun is in the hands of Sugetsu, and he still has a nano to work with, an alarm bot to cover some of the approach, and of course a movable door behind him that gives him a little bit of security. It's a tough clutch for Nats, but he got here early enough to see that there was no cross back to middle, so he's focused in on the right place. And beautifully placed bullet to put 3 on the board. A close 3rd round, a competitive one, and an even closer 4th.
This is the thing. Well, when you're looking at this Team Liquid roster, okay, the form hasn't been great. They've had some struggles. They've beaten Koi, lost to Koi, and then got demolished by Foot. But we've always known that they have those individual players. They have the likes of a Yumpy and Nats. Kiko was lighting up the server in the first week. And if they can come online, that's probably one of the ways that they can beat Navi. I think the other way is if Navi trolls, but we won't go into that because that hasn't happened just yet.
And especially with those, like that 3rd round for me tells me Navi are not coming in with the Navi game, with the troll play, because they were giving them so much respect. And maybe knowing that there's a 2nd outlaw in play definitely makes you more hesitant to swing into angles like lunatics. Now, they don't really have the opportunity to take those ranged fights. It's not just the shield situation in which everybody's one hit to Enzo, who was playing the Odin last round. Big investment, so now he takes that little bit of a lighter play with the Outlaw, and he's one hit on any of these players.
Navi have kind of brought down quite far, though. Angel left on 900 credits. Zipan not with a mass amount left either. Like they're almost playing a bit of a gamble that maybe some of their utility will be gone, or that they can pad the gap a little bit with ults. Angel just looking for a fight, and well, he found one.
Yeah, the IGL of Team Liquid dropping to find that opening kill, that shock dart.
Ooh.
Unattendedly well landed.
Oh no. Oh, there's 2 players and an aftershock stuck in that corner. I think Enzo just about 5 HP. He's able to escape, but he doesn't. It's actually a classic through the smoke. It was a rolling thunder utilized by Liquid, but somehow out of that, Navi have come out on top.
There's a big investment. And a little bit of information with where Yumpy is. Do they check the back of the tree? Yes, they do. Mystic fires off just in time to give them a warning shot. And Zipan lands that bullet nicely. Nats an off angle, and now the only hope for the squad. Good kill. Sections it into a 1 versus 1 on both angles, but Sugetsu isn't planting. Swings out to support his teammate and put another round on the board for Navi. This one a little cleaner, and ults very much coming online for both squads.
Yeah, the focus there has to be on Artis' utility. That was just fantastic. Like, obviously Zipan hitting a couple of shots, but it's once they're forced into the corner, there's a stun and an aftershock. 2 players stuck. I think Mystic is able to TP out, but it just leaves Enzo screwed. And then they're just able to play off of the advantage that they already have. Navi bring things back in and around. As said, they had 2 rifles, what was it, pistols on the rest. They've managed to completely obliterate the economy of Liquid and are right back in the early stages of this game.
Fantastic early fight for this squad in NAVI. Looking to equalize things up against the pistols. It shouldn't be too tall of a task. lot of damage done early, but no kills to follow through on. NAVI have a lot of the map covered. Turd watching their back, and a player pushed up on B Sagetsu, so there's no need to turn tail and look for other parts of the map to worry about their back. They do need to worry about that spike, though. Dropped in the open, zip ban on 29, and a very competitive round somehow comes out of next to no investments. If things do start to go awry, weapons can be retrieved, ults are online for Liquid, granted, 2 of them are fairly low impact, and the Hunter's Fury not likely to be committed.
It's the most pistol bullets I think I've ever seen spam through a smoke.
Looks like a full auto weapon.
Oh, the attempt to rotate back though. Sagetsu already watching. And actually, Zipan's gonna stick around. He's only on 29 HP. He still looks to fight. I guess maybe just getting the ult orbs in this scenario. Enzo was locking them in, but it's made this round once more a little bit more competitive. I guess the idea from NAVI is just defend the guns. Don't allow Liquid to retrieve anything, because then that truly gets dangerous. The one worry now is the time, but with them heading towards the B site, they've gambled, and they've gambled correct.
Hunter's Fury could come into play. I don't know if they want to commit it with everybody tagged so low. The recon through will reveal them. Following up on it, something else entirely. And I think it is the right call not to expand that ultimate for a round that, even if you get a kill, that 2v3 is going to side with NAVI. And the ultimate name of the game here being damage. Yet again. The ult used from Nats with a little bit of information, and he's caught one through the wall. Now you might start to think elsewhere. Oh, with the lockdown in play, is this going to be the Hunter's Fury to cancel? Are they just rushing the site, looking for the control? That's what they go for, and it hasn't quite worked out.
I thought for a second.
Eventually.
For a second. That was about to be a little bit embarrassing.
Down to the spike. He has ult orb. There's no, has ult. There's no point playing it for an orb. You're not going to get another kill, most likely.
Oh, it is still going to be a decent round in terms of damage. NAVI, though, will equalize that score. And as I said, expectations with NAVI is normally to see the heavier portion of rounds on the attack. And actually, from what we've seen so far over this and kickoff, that's for both teams. Liquid definitely had their struggles when it came to their defensive sides. But their attacks have been sublime, so not a bad start. But it's about this round. Bolts, okay, Kiko a little bit closer with that showstopper. Hunter's Fury, as you mentioned, but the other side of things, Navi's already pretty stacked.
Yeah, and when we came into the last round saying about the ultimates, you know, the impact was the real question. Mystic and Nats burning theirs, but they're never really going to find that much value. On the other hand, Flash, Rolling Thunder, an Orbital Strike can do a whole lot. And that Detain has actually managed to seize at least one player. If they tried to hunt it down, they'd be in a lot of trouble, but the Rolling Thunder could help them out. 3 players caught in that, and Sagetsu swinging around the back. Mystic was the only one untouched by the ultimate, and now in a prime position as he trades out. 4 versus 4. Ults used by NAVI for a little bit of space, and the trades are good. Do they expect the second player? Well, whether they do or not, Xiao's hitting the shot and putting the 3v2 in effect. Orbital Strike for post-plant means the clock is even further against you. They've realized that there's no way back in. Might get a kill here onto Angel, who was on walkabouts. Does that really make it doable? They believe so. Yeah. It looked like they were saving, then they run towards it, smoked out, and they're running away again. Trying to keep NAVI in position so they perhaps die to the spike.
I think at this stage, just holding on to the remaining weapons. Zipan should be able to get far enough away, so it's going to be the couple of weapons saved at least in NAVI. I'm liking the pacing, like just a complete change-up. We've seen a lot of slow, defaulty rounds. That is the classic when it comes to Lotus, just sort of playing the map, looking for those aggressive positions that we've had push-ups from the likes of Kiko, taking a main control. The last round, they obviously fought for Mound as well. But in this round, NAVI just do the opposite. They send one ult straight in to give them the information. They send the second one to try and re-aggress and take some space. And although there was a decent adaptation from Liquid, I do think it was a caught between two. It's like,
as well, this is a round where they have to see that value. A couple seconds left. We haven't seen Enzo buy. It looks like a Bulldog is going to be what they settle on. So you see they've got
NAVI about to do it again. They have got 4 players already set up, just walking towards that B side. It's almost an identical round to what we've just witnessed. Yeah, they're going straight through.
They haven't accounted for Mystic in the corner. That spike now dropped in the middle. Oh, okay. Kiko just fires in with the showstopper. It was a blind fire through the smoke, doesn't land anything. But Spike being down, what is Navi's plan? Where are they going to go with this one? So Angel is on his way to C. He knows they will have rotated to back up that spike. So he's taking the control. It's not like they have an Omen ult to go retrieve it. You're going to have to fight for that B site. So the idea to cause paranoia that maybe these players go behind you. And the orbital strike later, they're sending players towards B as well. I mean, this looks like a default round that you would play out, Tom, but not without the spike.
Yeah, I definitely... It's weird because they sent Zipan in. They also sent Wingman in. So it was definitely the plan to plant within that B site, but then nobody really followed up on it. I guess they were really assuming that there would be an after plant, maybe that Liquid wouldn't play anybody. They're getting down to the 30-second mark. Angel's managed to find Yumpy, but he's got a player behind him. They still don't have the spike. This is the bigger issue. Now they're finally going to start pushing in, but they're walking into every single member of this Liquid squad. This round is just mental, while Mystic's just farming. I don't know what has happened here for NAVI. It looks like an absolute mess of a round.
10 seconds.
I don't know how Sugetsu's even alive at this stage.
I mean, he's done a decent amount of damage, at least. There was potential. But ultimately, yeah, I feel like this round, they tried to divide and conquer a little bit to create a blind spot, pressuring C, leaving a player outside B, making that little bit of noise, and then having that double push in from the connector, but it didn't work. As you can see clearly, I think they've outplayed themselves. It's strange, though, the fact that you get one player blast packing in, Wingman going through, and nothing else. That's when I expect to see three more players come through that smoke.
Yeah. I think even then, Mystic's probably a little bit confused. Like, well,
did they break trap and just assume it was going to be B wide open? Like it is now. Look, if they did that was if they did that now, perfect.
I think it's purely based off the fact that the last round they managed to go in and there was no one there. They're just gonna walk it again. There's a stun. I guess Navi are genuinely, this is just a weakness that they've spotted, that Team Liquid like to play heavily into CNA, so they're just trying to put that pressure in. This time, they almost use it as a ruse. They go, okay, we're doing it for a third round in a row, and there's been a push-up that has just been Enzo dead within seconds.
Yeah, it was jump peeking it, and it looks like Sugetsu got perfect timing, slipping in under the jump peek. Bit of a disaster for Team Liquid. A site, though, they've made the call to play it as a retake. It's the right play, as we can see. Smoke down. On the way through, the cam's going to be up top, but it won't be used because Nats has got his weapon in hand. He's surrounded. Wingman on the site going for the plant and being allowed. Nats wants to be the behind enemy lines. An element of surprise as they don't expect him to be here. Kiko picking them up and thinning the herd. Leaves Sugetsu alone. And he's going to have to attempt to deny this defuse, but in fact, the players come pushing as he's readying himself to tap towards that spike. He gets swung by more players than he was expecting. 5 rounds now for Team Liquid, and the lead is back in their grasp.
These are the rounds you really just love watching from Nats. Someone who was a maestro of the cam. Even if you go back to when they used to play those CIS like regionals, it wasn't even in EMEA at that stage. He would just sit in his cam. I think Split was the one I always remember. Yeah. But doing exactly the same here. Just basically playing as the information for the team. Sure, those assists are not going to come up within the server, but it's just so much information that he's finding. And then there at the end to be traded out even. Great round from him. And up there, and this is the thing, you've got Yumpy fragging, you've got Mystic fragging, you've got Nats fragging. These are things that you need if Liquid are going to be winning. And yeah, already Angel's taken quite a bit more than a lick of damage. Na'Vi definitely aren't shying away though.
That's the kind of early wall bangs you want to see if you're Enzo with the Odin in hand. 19 health on Angel, 69 on Zipan. They've been chipped up early on, and their approach has barely even started. That's just from barriers up. Decent bit of control for that Liquid side. The push up on C, they're jump peeking it. They've got utility on B, and even a player ready to pounce if Navi do go back to their old tricks.
I like the fact that they had Nats to support as well, because one of the major dangers of having that Odin in towards tree is just being overwhelmed and pressured. But he had the trips. Cam also on B, just in case they went for that same play again. Seems like Liquid were more than happy to go for the retake. But for now, at least, are we just trying to push and pull the map. 40 seconds left on the clock. They've had an orbital strike for plenty of rounds at this stage, but the Hunter's Fury's still there. Enzo hasn't used it either.
You see, they're trying to push and pull the map here on the side of
30
NAVI,
seconds left.
but there's no panic from Liquid. In fact, they're already sending Kiko towards the other side of the map, still with 2 players in position on A, but Enzo backing up a little bit, running towards his last magazine on this Odin. A lot of spam has gone through, but still no kills. NAVI have an orbital strike to work with if they decide to put that through, but they might not have time. Here it comes, pushing players out into the open, but the kills aren't following. In fact, Nats picks up 3 quick ones, and Team Liquid extend their lead to 2.
Yeah, looking good. I said this is a map that we're yet to see them play. They've already outdone Vitality. 6 rounds on the board, and on that defensive side. And as mentioned, NAVI, when they played this last time out, they had a 9-3 attack half. That's not happening again. But that's the thing, I think over these last few rounds, they've not allowed NAVI to maneuver them. That's been the main thing. They've been sticking to their guns. And we've seen it before, that this team can definitely make it work with ults rather than the weaponry.
Even without the ults, to be honest. Give them Sheriffs, they'll give you a round win a lot of the time. For NAVI, they're in position. 4 rounds, 2 down, and 2 to go. This is a, you know, like you're saying, they're not going to be able to repeat the success of their last attack side, but you don't turn your nose at a 6-6.
Off your feet!
Or even 7-5, dash in from Zipan. On the blast packs, but he's taking a lot of damage, makes it easy for Mystic. It was a headshot, in fact, and another found. Xiao down, Wingman planting, Camp sees nothing, but it catches them, turning to see where it was. They want to destroy it, and instead, Sagetsu gets destroyed. Angel and Artist now, stand alone. Thrash still to be played, but Rolling Thunder, and it's caught both of them. Big ult use, they just need to find the players before the stun subsides, and they've caught Artist, leaving Angel alone, reloading. He's dropped. Quick as can be, and 7 rounds secured. Possibly 8 at the half. This could be a very strong defense for Liquid.
Yeah, this is looking a lot better than what we've seen from them already throughout the tournament.
I mean, last time they got 7 rounds on each map up against
That is
NAVI.
true.
Now
Hey,
they've got 7 in the first half.
Don't count your chickens. they did also lose 8 rounds in a row, so be careful with that one.
I know. And that's it. If anyone's going to run away with 8 rounds in a row on in this series, it is NAVI.
Yeah.
It is them that will chain together just ridiculous combos. And I do think right now we're seeing NAVI a little bit cold. I'm worried about when they warm up.
Well, yeah, Angel, Xiao, right at the bottom of the board. Angel definitely is the more hit and miss, but Xiao is normally a safe pair of hands.
Yeah.
Either way, though, looking like we're going to see an early combo come in. I think Liquid have done well so far to deny NAVI a lot of map control. I think Nats has been superb. Whichever site he's been anchoring, he's had all the information. He's allowed them to go for the retakes with every single corner checked or cleared by a piece of utility because his cam hasn't been destroyed. This time out, though, looking like they might just be going for a retake on B. The only man there is Yumpy. It's been very good, but the thing is for Liquid, in these early rounds, you might think, okay, maybe they're a bit out of position here or there, but NAVI have been very slow. Other than a couple of rounds they've rushed into B, they've been going in the last 20 seconds.
Oh, the concern for me is seeing NAVI make that early presence known on C and then shift over in this other direction. It's Kiko.
Look at the
Off
drone.
in hand, blinded up, and he's out of there. And Kiko has had a tough time so far. 4 kills on the board. There's 5. It's a headshot onto Zipan. He means business on this solo site hold, but he has a bit of support. Yumpy with a door open now has a chance to pounce. Enzo's on the rotate as well.
left.
It's an Odin. Not great for spamming that smoke because they will fire right back at you, and the wall bangs come in on the other side, but even still, Kiko's able to find more value. A 3rd kill with the showstopper, and Sagetsu's walkout is weighted with open arms by Mystic. 8 rounds and an Andalucia flawless to close out the half. Team Liquid look incredibly good, at least in the first half.
Yeah, no, fantastic stuff from them. And I actually like the adaptation of what they were doing with their utility, because what Na'Vi were trying to do was bait out what they had. And midway through that round, you actually see Enzo use his drone out C. So while this kill is happening, the drones just come out of C, they see absolutely nothing, and immediately gamble their rotation over to the other side of the map. They did so well with small pieces of utility, like a cam or a drone, to find everything they needed to get themselves into the right position to have, well, what was a solid hold in each of those rounds. 8-4 into the lead. A pistol for Na'Vi, pretty damn important at this stage. And as we know, Liquid have been good at their pistols.
They have, yes. It's the second rounds where the worries start to come in. For Na'Vi, defense, early aggression on A. They look to take a lot of control. It doesn't look like they're stopping. That W key seems stuck, whether there's a shift or not. Presence on B will only spur them forward, I would imagine. It's a decision here for Zipan whether he continues to go, and he'd be running right into Nats on the site. There's players all around. Na'Vi have two on each angle, but Enzo's picked up a double. Nats follows up by dropping Zipan and opens the path into A. A clean plant to be found, and two players alive for Na'Vi. Sagetsu and Xiao have to recover this with enemies everywhere. Even a flank coming in from Nats late.
Yeah, this timing from Nats.
Oh, they're keeping Sagetsu still.
Looking like a prime Nats moment. Oh, the turnaround almost there. It got a little bit dicey. But Nats left all onto Xiao. Doesn't have much to play with, and he will go down to it. Pistol round converted from Liquid.
That's 2 out of 2.
They are running away with this map. And while if there's going to be a response from Na'Vi, it's going to have to be soon.
Oh, it better be. This is Team Liquid's map pick. Don't fret. Splits up next, and Na'Vi definitely won't be coming in as cold there, but it's been a real struggle for them to find this value. And even the lurks from Nats, you see it there, but more importantly, you know, good movement by Sagetsu. He didn't make it easy. And he even got a right click off. It could have went bad, but it didn't. And that's the story of a lot of these rounds for Na'Vi. Some of them are close, but ultimately swinging in the favor of Team Liquid, who now, yeah, that one wasn't, but that fight was. The Liquid side, they get a very decent buy. 2 Bulldogs, Spectres, and a Ghost. Credits stacked up on Enzo for next round. Na'Vi, don't invest very much. You're really not expecting them to lose too many. And for Liquid, yeah, lose one player, it's fine. You can recover the weapon if you're playing together, which we can see they are. More than that, they'll feel it a little bit coming into the next.
In this round at least. The one thing that Na'Vi has is there is an aggressive push already coming out from Angel. He's already making his way right up to spot outside A, so they will have the majority of their players within this side. But as you said, weaponry is at a minimum. There would still have to be mistakes from Liquid to let this round slip away. Nade is potentially going to deny this part at least a little longer, although Enzo will just tank it. And from this stage, I don't know how Na'Vi find anything in this round.
The one upside being close range fights, but the numbers on every fight will be a disadvantage. Kiko, nice angle. Clean on the first, clean on the second. It's more of a formality clearing out these pistols. They lose one in the form of Yumpy, a second as Kiko goes down, and Enzo is low. More damage could have been done, but in the end, it's negligible. Realistically, all they've lost here is a Spectre, and they've got a good few shields to reinvest into.
Yeah, I wonder if we will see Enzo maybe buy a rifle for someone else just to try and pad the gaps a little bit. Nope, it seems like he's bought a Judge for Kiko instead. Not quite as kind, but...
attack side Judge.
Well, I can only assume then that this is either going to be just him running straight into the B site, or maybe he goes for like a C site blast pack play. If they go towards A, I think they've lost the plot.
Yeah, 100%. I even think C. C is a little shaky to be going in with the Judge.
Once you get past Mound, I think it's okay.
Yeah. There's just a lot of sight lines. If they're playing retake on site, you're gonna be in a tough spot when you drop down with a Judge. This one I think is a little bit more normalized.
Go on, Timmy.
The Judge destroying the turret. Good angle on the way back through, and you can see there's an okay chance that Sagetsu tries to pincer in from that side. You can see this Judge, though, repositioning. The door's being opened and players making their way through. Na'Vi set their eyes on the site with Zipan already dropping. Yumpy, Enzo falling too, and now they're surrounded. These players have everything. The only angle they really can play from on Team Liquid is that connector. And when that's falling, it's Kiko's classic that's pulled out thanks to him having a Judge in the back pocket. An incredibly clean and concise way back through. In fact, I don't think Na'Vi took a single lick of damage
No, and Andaluthia Flawless will tell you at least that they kept everybody alive. But yeah, when it comes to even having to upgrade anything in terms of reinvestment into shields, they don't need to. And if they were going to make any sort of comeback happen, that would be one way to start it. Of course, though, in terms of bonus rounds, we didn't see any, well, proper rifles. There weren't any Vandals, Phantoms, anything of the sort for the side of Liquid. So definitely looking like this round will be a little bit more. I'm interested in the attack side, Odin.
Yeah.
Normally you'd see it wall banging. That's the way that you set it up. I guess maybe gonna send out the dart first. Nope. Just swinging.
It's given them a lot of information with the dart. Yeah, I did expect to see him fall back to the right side to capitalize on it, but instead, moving forward. The wall bang into tree, denying that angle. You can see it did force Sugetsu back a little bit. Has to be a bit more conscious of how he's holding this. Looks like only one player up close to that door, Kiko. He's not going to go through. Not just yet. They're waiting for NAVI to have a response. And NAVI are very ready to respond to this. 2 players at the broken door and A site swarming with defenders. They just haven't got their point of contact yet, and they won't. This Team Liquid take it in another direction.
Look how much we've seen a rotation
insane.
From the side of NAVI. Like, you can almost split them down the map at the moment, a beautifully straight line. As they only just making their way back into the B site. Definitely not the straight line
Point to point, was it?
Yeah.
Looked clean.
But they are now making their way back. The realization that this is no longer a hit into A. More aggressive positions being taken. Another AWP for Kiko, an extra kill will get him a showstopper. But now things do get a bit scary as they are pushing into a 3-site defended position with a nade there. There's also all of the utility on Ardis as well. They can't go this way anymore.
They made the right read. Having left C open earlier, now B is the one that's wide open for the taking. 15 seconds left. The plan's going down. I don't think NAVI have any means to deny this. It's all about the retake, and it done well to find one, but immediately the response is there. Showstopper in the hands of Kiko, fires it off. It might have done damage with the Ardis on 37 HP, but it hasn't dropped him. He's still alive. That gun is still there, and it can do so much, even on the low HP. It distracts for Angel to at least trade it out. Keep the numbers in their favor, but it's all about Yumpy. These players towards main just need to delay and allow Yumpy to come all the way around behind. Enzo ringing out with the Odin. Draws the eye, but a whiff from Yumpy gives the round to NAVI. They'll get away with that defuse with plenty of time.
That's just one of those Shao moments. Like, okay, sure, maybe Yumpy should have killed him immediately, but just how quick Shao turns and insta-pops his head, that's got to just be infuriating. And yeah, again, it seems like Liquid, a lot of their reads, like the late round rotation to B was great. I think you see that Kiko does incredibly well just to do damage, but also take a couple of players with him. It's just Shao. Like, just he throws this out and just so quick to just kill off Yumpy before he could really do anything. It's got to be frustrating. NAVI finding their legs. Yumpy now. Well, I've seen this man play a sniper with basically every single agent in the game, so I'm not going to question him doing it on Breach.
Yeah, attack side, Breach, sniper.
He used to do it every Haven game with Killjoy, so...
That's a very aggressive push from NAVI. Considering what they're up against, majority pistols, I didn't expect to see them just W-keying it down, but with the information taken on A, they can leave one player behind to hopefully have more luck jump spotting than before and begin those rotations towards the other side of the map. This is a... I mean, the pistols might be able to cleave some value if they can force those close range fights, and the utility has done well to push them back. Smokes are just about to come into play, and then Team Liquid will waltz right into this site. The only real player to contend with them is Sugetsu. The utility there, the spams, a little bit too low, I think, not quite making it through the wall.
And so as well, Hunter's Fury could be used in that post-bomb, but remember the weaponry definitely weaker. Showstopper, well, it would have got 2, but Xiao was too quick to take out Kiko. Again, the Nats utility, it has been nigh on perfect this entire game, but anything more would have to be absurd. Enzo has said he's got his ult, but no expectation for him to use it. And again, he's made this one extra costly with a couple of extra dropped, but NAVI once more continue their climb. 3 rounds the difference now. The main thing, though, is they did use an ult or two in that.
Two. They used their orbital strike and their showstopper beautifully, I will add.
Yeah.
Because I think there was even a stun in early. They stun, they orbital strike. Those players move out of the orbital strike into the spam of Xiao and into the showstopper. So really, really nice. But do you consider that a win up against an eco? This was 4 classics.
We are going to be getting back into this one. As said, I think the sooner Liquid closes, obviously the better, but I mean more so because the longer this goes, the likelihood of Na'Vi just closing this out, whether it goes OT or not, is just abundantly higher.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think this is somewhere that having that big lead for Liquid, we can't see that gap closed in. Na'Vi will not relinquish control if they get any of it. For this defensive side, Thrash is online. Na'Vi have a good response with 1 kill away on Sagetsu from having themselves a lockdown. And it is the C site that's under pressure, at least off rip. The orb's being tapped, the stun is ready, and you can see that they're expecting Na'Vi to have some sort of a reaction, some sort of crunch play to this information. In fact, that orb even being traded out for a boom bot. But there will be no reaction as we get on board with Xiao. You can see that there's 4 players on the A side of the map. In fact, C is wide open right now. They've left it entirely, and Team Liquid are walking right into the trap.
I love it. In their minds, probably gone, right, we've tapped the orb, we've spammed, we've shown some utility. Na'Vi, there's got to be at least a couple of players there. And well, they'll probably very quickly realize that actually it's the opposite. He's tagged a couple of players. The thing is, it's a great opener, but will they realize that there's still more players here? Zipan around the edge. A rotation in as well from Artist. Needs to hit the shot, and he does.
That spike.
And actually, Zipan's caught another. The spike left out in the open, and they may not even realize that now Zipan's within the site, and Xiao as well, and they're caught on that flank.
15 seconds, too. There's no time.
Oh, no!
He had to slip through that door. I'm not even sure if he would have made it. This door very much closing in Liquid's face of the round. 1v3, 1v2, but 4 seconds to find the last. It's not going to happen. Na'Vi have pushed up to 8, a 2-round gap. And Team Liquid are going to start to feel that pressure mounting as the comeback is on.
Yeah, that was a perfect read from Na'Vi. Absolutely spot on. Like they hear all of that utility, everything being spammed on one side of the map, and they go, well, you know what? We're rotating in the other direction. I don't know if that is purely based on a calling style read or just what they've seen already within this half, and they end up with a full stack up. And that's the thing, you use a Hunter's Fury, you get an opening kill and a tag, and from then onwards it just all went wrong, because at that stage you're probably thinking, okay, there's maybe 1, 2 other guys max, I've hit one of them. You're not expecting the rest of Na'Vi to all be there.
Oh, as soon as that second tag comes in, it's a go, go, go call. You know the guy's there, he's half HP, and what are the chances they had more than 2 stacked up on A site as well. You always know the reaction can come in from the broken door, but that 4th player in that setup being there, unpredictable. Mystic's all the way in their spawn, but they're aware. They're looking for him. They're trying to find him, and they've spotted him. Now the real trouble begins. He'll be flanked in from any direction. Time to push forward, and he does so successfully. A quick and clean kill with Artist moving behind on the B site, but spotted after the spam. He'll be smoked out, and the information revealing both of these players' positions. Mystic's in there with a shorty. It's an ambitious play, I'll say that. Eventually,
he's going to put the smoke back down just so he can stick in it. He just goes, you know what? I'll put another smoke down, and I'll see if you're going to risk it. And of course, this is not going to risk it. It's definitely one of those rounds where I think Liquid have just played off the pandemonium of Mystic. Like, we're watching him fight for his life in the spawn, but the fact is the rest of the team were barreling their way forward to almost meet him within that connector. They did fantastically well, isolated the duels, and just, that's the thing. I genuinely think what we've seen from Liquid here in Kickoff, they have some of the most impactful from the shadows I've ever seen, which is not a sentence I ever thought I would say. But I've seen Mystic just take this control and then just survive and just be an irritation while the rest of the team go on with whatever play they had planned.
Well, similar things to what we saw from Nats as well. I think there's just space in the way they're approaching this map for one player to go and run their own rodeo. And it was actually Nats combining with him. He had a little bit of a late play through B while everyone's looking behind them for Mystic. They spot him, and then up comes Nats to ruin your day. 11-8, a save call for Navi and a 2v4. any given Sunday, you're not going to see that from this squad. They're giving Liquid respect, and it's because that scoreline is so close to completion. 11-8, 2 more for the side of Liquid, and the economy now, it's okay for NAVI. There are some players struggling. The ults, though, are online. Thrash and Lockdown.
This is the change from the last one. We saw that 4 stack again, but they managed to catch one! Nats! Oh, unfortunately, he's not going to get anything more. The trade back from Enzo is good, and it comes down to the 1 versus 1. A blitz of frags from both Xiao and Enzo. The spike has been retrieved. It's a guessing game.
If he
For
plants
Sugetsu, he's waiting, but he's missed the timing just about. That plant will get the ult online, but there's one on the other side as well. It'll definitely make things a little bit more awkward on either side. And the timing could be everything. Both players now walking, but a pickup of pace for either will either guarantee the plant or potentially guarantee the kill.
Sugetsu. I mean, his timing is perfect. He heard the steps moments ago. He knew where Kiko was going. Hot on his trail. He'll find the round for NAVI. This could have gotten very awkward if time surpassed and that showstopper was popped on a tap. But 11-9 we go. A 2-round gap. It closes in for NAVI. They've still got that lockdown to work with.
See, the second layer to what NAVI was doing, so I like that Liquid pick up the pace again, because it was the same gamble. You had 4 players on one side of the map, and then you had just 1 defending. But Sugetsu is the one, and he just stays alive. And in the meantime, once they know that it's no longer this A site, they immediately split back and use that Thrash to clear out the flanks, because that's been one of the major problems that NAVI have been having, is that Nats is in there to stab them in the back. Yeah. Well, they didn't catch Nats. They caught the other player, but then just happened to find Nats as well.
11-9. Xiao and Artis 1 away from ult. Showstopper for Zipan came online in last round, and Lockdown still there. They have got a lot to work with on this defensive side. And so far, their reads have been perfect. That round where they stack A, leave C open, and Team Liquid tried to fake it there. There's not even anyone close enough to hear the sound. This time, they move towards C. It seems a little more intentional this time, and there's the reaction they were expecting before. Showstopper popped out by Kiko. He's up in the air and firing onto Zipan. Angel caught down below him. He was the snake in the grass this time, and he's dropped Enzo. But for what? 4 versus 2. Lockdown still there to work with, but tough to use in this position. And tough to use on A, because Sugetsu's on the other side of the map. Yeah. The thing is, there's players outside C waiting for this fight, waiting for re-aggression, waiting for Artis to look for info, and still Nats, with an op, is sitting outside B. Somehow Sugetsu was aware of that. He was ready.
Yeah, he's managed to make this one slightly less difficult. A moment or two where you'd think he might have been able to find one back. This stage may even just be worth holding onto the gun. You can see the remaining players on Liquid have all gone in for the post plant, and I think this is where Sugetsu realizes that having that extra gun is definitely going to be worth it for the next round. Again, Navi's read is not necessarily a bad one. It's just disrupted by that showstopper. That was the difference maker. If they don't walk into the whole team, or even if they do, and that ult isn't online, maybe they take that.
Absolutely. And it's interesting to me as well, just the fact, I said NAVI have the right read every time. The showstopper here is unfortunate. It was online for them. You can't just play like, you have to still play your game. You have to still go for those setups. But that was the very thing that Team Liquid were trying to avoid 5 rounds ago or so. When we saw them go C, we saw them go tap the spike, run away. Go take the spike, but with a boom bot down. It's constantly telling them, hey, we're over here. Do you want to do something about that? You want to react to that? And there was no one there. This time, there's lots of players there. But, as you said, Showstopper saved the day. Especially being held onto for so long. The trust he has in his teammates to cover him there. Enzo picking up the players, swinging him, ends up getting them so much value.
Navi are going to take themselves a timeout. Put up 4 players on the A side again.
Well, 4 players will stay with. No rotations out of them. And the early presence seems to be looking towards this A site. The Team Liquid haven't been going in the direction that they give away right off rip. Kiko, oh, he's not getting out of there, is he? He's trapped in the open. The Rolling Thunder gets them the opening duel. But Navi are now committed to this A site while Team Liquid
this will be
waltz their way into C. And actually, if Enzo gets the plant, that could be a potential denial, or even the orb here. Potential denial of Sugetsu's ult, which is a big way for them to get back into C. Rolling Thunder would be the other one that now won't have that same level of impact. And in fact, Sugetsu, is he going towards spawn or is he
there.
sticking on site? For now, he's just trying to catch one on the cross and bail.
Yeah, I think it will just be that info. The thing is, it's one of the ults gone, but I don't think they'll mind too much. Drone shown. There is that long down, actually used preemptively.
Watching here.
Yet to see a counter, but they can get the plant and just fall into those post plants, actually keeping the orbital strike for that reason. They've tried to force Nats out. He is going to get caught, but that's fine. He'll be able to survive that a little longer.
Now they come flooding back in, not expecting Sugetsu to already be here. The guns were barely drawn on the side of Liquid. They expected to have a few more seconds to breathe before they took that battle, and they were given no such room. Team Liquid lose the round 12-10. Now 2 more chances to close this out.
And Andaluthia flawless as well for Na'Vi, so they're not going to have any pieces missing. The thing I love about the orbital strike as well is, as you said, normally you're going to have to be a little bit more patient if you're Sugetsu. He doesn't have to be, because that orbital strike clears the only corner that they could have been in. So they double those ults up just to make sure. And I'm going to be honest, that seems like an on-the-fly call. Like that wasn't.
Absolutely.
I think that was he placed it in a rush, and then they just go, okay, there's a gap here. Let's put this in. It is, however, 3 of their 4 ults gone.
It is. But this was worst case scenario for them. They wanted it to be the A play. They wanted to catch the majority of Team Liquid in those fights, and they had to play retake. They gambled it, and this time they were punished for that. Showstopper for Zipbanda. Final ultimate expanded on the side of Navi. And it's Xiao trading out one, but the Showstopper finds nothing. The Hunter's Fury, in fact, makes it into that 1 versus 1, as we said. Xiao traded out the kill, but he also lost a lot of his HP. Zipan on 70 as well after being tagged up by the Hunter's Fury. And Navi now, we haven't really seen this from them, Tom. They're spread out in a default. One player aggressively on A, and this is a nasty bait. 10 HP on Xiao. All he's good for here, well, he'll probably end up with 2 kills, but all he's good for, realistically, is jump spotting that angle and drawing their eyes towards it so that then Zipan can swing and find so much value.
The thing is, Enzo still has a dart and a drone.
He does.
Like, there's so much potential information. They could even aftershock it if they wanted to. There's the drone going out. I feel like Xiao has to break this, and he does. Okay. That's going to keep the bait going. And there is the dart. Yeah, they're being extra careful. Now Zipan is in real trouble. The nade put through. He's buying them time. That's the one major thing. Can he get any kills from it? No. There's still 25 seconds as they're now going to encroach onto Xiao. Left with very little to play with here. He can't even really risk peeking out, and they're going back though. They're walking into Sugetsu. He's waiting in the corner. He's going to find 2 again. And there's Ardis. That was the one thing that Liquid couldn't do, was walk back towards the B site. However, Yumpy still makes this possible. Rolling Thunder could keep him safe, but he's just going to go for it. Bear in mind, Xiao's just mollied himself. He wanted to clear that corner. Wanted to make sure he wasn't close, and Yumpy's going to close it off of that. The Red Bull clutch to make sure that they get it over the line, but to be aggressive, which is where I think Yumpy does some of his best work. I think he's also just more comfortable on the initiator in general. And sure, okay, you're going to see Enzo move over to a Cypher, but if I want someone passive and looking for information, Enzo fits that bill, just not normally on a Cypher.
Yeah, it is definitely a different agent, different
close.
approach. We'll see how the result is. With Team Liquid already dodging some early bullets through the smoke as the attack side moves its way towards B. The wall gets them across, and the flash gets them out. Easy kill for Nats, and the follow-up is there too. A double to open this up. And Team Liquid have side control. Nade through is going to take Yumpy.
Planted.
Oh no, he just about makes it away.
Yeah, Nats again. He switched from the Cypher, but we know that his Viper is one of the best. It's his individual skill that has taken them with the advantage in this round. A way back in looks unlikely, though. Okay, they've got the Seeds for the back, but no utility to really clear them. An aftershock would have been nice, but they haven't got it in this round. Well, it seems like they're just going to fall like flies. And Andaluthia flawless to kick off this map. Another pistol under the belt of Liquid. That's 3 for 3 so far in this series.
It's tough as well, playing in a series where you're losing pistols if you're Navi. It's always an uphill battle. And we saw them really start to pick up the pace towards the end of the last map. They had a big streak of rounds, something that we were aware could happen. Thanks to that lead, though, Liquid were still able to close it out, and now they look to craft their own.
Nice, boys.
Not only
Come on.
fantastic wall out to get them controlled, the flash was near perfect. That caught them off push them back further into the site from Yumpy, and then Enzo has these traps up that they're so aware of on their way back through. They just can't find the space for free. 1-0, and an eco from the side of NAVI, a couple upgrades, Angel and Zipan to keep your eye on. They've got themselves some Sheriffs, although Team Liquid's biggest enemy in round 2 is generally the Classic, but there's no ADA captain here, so it should be fine.
Yeah, to set expectations, when these teams have been successful versus Team Liquid, NAVI had an 8-0 attack side, and in the victory versus Koi, it was a 9-1 attack for Liquid. So both these teams have definitely been more comfortable on the attack. Obviously, the switches might be to try and improve the defensive setup, but I think more so just giving Yumpy that little bit of extra freedom to be a bit more aggressive. They're definitely working out for Nats. Well, I can't say it's been down to necessarily the Viper so far, but he definitely seems like he's having a good time. Early kills. Third already, and nothing more to be found from Xiao.
Yeah, and in this round, obviously, they come in with 2 pistols, so Kiko saves over one of the fallen rifles, and there's no more losses to account for. So that 2-0 start, economically, they've got a decent round when it comes to this bonus. Rifles to work with and some opportunities to pick off these defenders. And I think the key thing being, having a round like that on the attack, it's going to give you a lot of room pushing through, because on the defense, the guy playing a Spectre is at a pretty big disadvantage. But when it's the attack, you're generally going together. So he's just chipping away at them the same as the rest of the squad.
Here we go. A buy up for NAVI, but bear in mind, as said, like, the weaponry's not bad for Liquid. Okay, Yumpy only on a pistol, but other than that, not in a bad position. The cross has been spotted. Keiko will be the one to take the early fight. Now, there aren't actually many players from NAVI waiting. The rotation will come through, but they're definitely a little bit wary. And I'm also just looking on the other side of the map, the classic Nats lurk. They may just fall back to join him.
Yeah, the boombot not going towards the ramp just cost a couple extra seconds for NAVI as they have to clear out a lot of this space, but the stun gets them it. They know Heaven's clear, and they know that nobody from Liquid is still waiting around that position. So resetting into the positions they were in before Angel spotted that cross. It's for a mid-crunch. They're a little bit out. The Paranoia here used more passive than they would have liked because they want to get aggressive and fight those angles. Instead, they're slowly being pushed back by the utility. The blast packs through from Kiko. He's on site, but in comes Xiao. Sagetsu with the spray, gets the spike on the floor, and they have to go right back up into the fray. Kiko, oh, he had an opportunity, but comes off the rope a little early. Stun, misses, nade, not finding it, and Mystic's up top, but look how many players are on the other side. If he swings that, there's a lot of trouble brewing for him. Even that orb won't get him across for free, but after the first, he can't deal with Sagetsu. Neither can Nats on the rope, and Kiko is left to try to create space and save the weapon. Hunted down by Sagetsu. That was his round. 4 kills and a round found for Navi.
He's basically just playing a game of whack-a-mole, though.
Oh, yeah,
it's like just each one just going up the rope, and that's pretty much every kill. Other than, okay, sorry, he did get one blind spray through a smoke. I should give him the extra credit there, but yeah, a nice round from Navi. I think a lot of that was just Liquid trying to play with the timing. We saw a similar thing on Lotus, just being an attempt to try and bait them. But again, some weaker weaponry. Definitely forced a couple of rebuys and now have a purchase of their own. Interestingly, though, no ults online, and none of them particularly close. A couple of orbs at best.
Blast backs up with the Paranoia. It's again force them back, but Navi, you're doing a great job of avoiding this early utility from the attack side. Of course, you're not going to get a Paranoia back. The smoke off. It's an attacker's smoke that's used up. Blocking Heaven, potentially giving a route to slip through, and well, that's one way to do it. The running spray gets Kiko 1, and he's good for 2. A site secured, and a lurk on mid. Spotted, but not dealt with. Yeah, Mystic still standing and retreats towards sewers. He doesn't need any help there. As the plant comes in, it's only Xiao, 1 versus 4.
Yeah, and then again, this looks like a scenario where holding onto the weapon is going to be more important. There were quite a few moments in that round as well where it looked like Navi had opportunities, like Mystic TPing away, wins the fight. Sugetsu knowing exactly where Kiko is, Kiko still wins the fight. Like, they're looking like today Liquid just better in terms of that individual ability, the shakiness that we saw in their game versus Foot seems to have dissipated. And Xiao has got to be careful here. His opponent is waiting. This should be a freebie kill for Mystic, a great reposition, a great lurk. And now the finances of NAVI, I don't know if they even suffice for a buy here.
It will be a struggle, certainly on some players more than others. We can see that they invested a lot. And the cost now is there to be paid. Great round from Kiko and Mystic. Kiko in particular, those two quick kills and claiming control of the site. The lurk out from Mystic, finding not one, but both of those final players. About as clean as you could hope. And with an immediate bounce back, a 3-1 scoreline. NAVI now are faced off with next to nothing. Sheriffs, a Spectre, and a Guardian. A very similar round worked for them over on Lotus. We'll see if Split's going to be any different.
Come down to, again, some mistakes. I like the idea, giving Xiao a chance, but there is a defensive lineup waiting. As he tries to push, the weaponry not going to be able to be retrieved. Zipan's got the only rifle in this round, the Guardian, and he's immediately hightailing it towards the B site, trying to get into a position where he can do some damage, but Liquid have paused. Again, just playing with that time, using Yumpy on the other side of the map to try and sell a bit of a ruse. Now, nothing's been spotted by Angel, and they're assuming that this is going to be a mid-crunch once again. But once they have the information, if they get this timing right, they might be able to head back into the B.
Oh, it is wide open. Deep Paranoia even used, but not needed. The key thing is there's no flashes. We saw the same setup on the pistol round. Sky Flash out of the wall as they take control. But that's not the case this time. Yumpy is miles away. Very late flank. I mean, I can't stress that enough. He's still not moving.
Mystic's got to be careful. The Horn's good. That'll be him down. Zipan already tagged, though. And the second he's gone, this round really isn't dangerous anymore. Again, a solid hold from Liquid. Only a singular player dropped the credits building. And while for Team Liquid now 4-1 up on that attacker side, and a couple of players on NAVI look like they're sleeping. Zipan got his first kill in that round. Angel, Ardis, a goose egg on the scoreboard. We know how important all these victories can be. Like for NAVI, they've not got an easy road coming up as well. And again, where I feel like expectations were in their favor. Now that they have a purchase back in, this is where we expect a little more.
You have to. For NAVI, the real downfall of the previous map was just how much of a lead they'd given away to their opponents. From the shadows canceled out by Xiao, who's spotted on the back of B site. And won't be going anywhere anytime soon. That's where Team Liquid intend to take things, but it will be a split. Back through middle by the looks of this. Already showing presence up in heaven. The timing perfect for Zipan, but only good for the one. And Mystic is slipping away down towards the vent as the wall goes up yet again, but they're not sure if anyone has actually crossed with that wall. It could just be a paranoia play for Xiao. He'll find out the hard way in just a moment. The fight comes in, Kiko wins it. Support from Angel, but he's not keen to go in. Not till his teammates are here, and the problem is by the time they arrive, that Viper's Pit is in full effect. They're gonna have to go through a lot of decay to have any chance in this, and in a 3 versus 4 as well.
Oh, look at the positioning. Oh, dude, still, it's a good trade. That was looking like a moment where
they saved now.
They were basically just waiting for it. The only way is, again, if Ardis manages to find some sort of miracle kill. Liquid have...
Are they going for it?
Done fantastic work. Timing here could be everything.
They're going for it.
Yeah, the clock is starting to tick a little bit low. The shot's not connected, though. Sugetsu had an opportunity, and now things are just ticking away. He's got to try and retreat from this. Try and hold on to a weapon, and I don't know if he's going to be able to. Ardis does connect a couple of shots,
okay, but
there's just not enough time. It's just going to be that extra damage to end out the round, but the fact is, if it was needed, there was still some utility available for Nats. And the thing with this round, it's again what Team Liquid have done fantastically is almost just smoke and mirrors. Like they've had that aggressive A take of taking up the Heaven control, like going for a rotation back through mid. Xiao is then left completely alone. They use the Viper screen, and each time there is a question of, has anyone actually pushed that? And this time it was yes. And you could see that Xiao was completely oblivious that someone could already be there.
And also, once the wall goes down, he has to look at 2 angles at once. So even if he's suspecting they've made it out, you don't know if they're going to peek you from main, from the side of the box, or from round on site. So he's
that's what they've been doing. I think the Viper play, especially from Nats, has been sublime. And today, well, we can already start talking about like MVPs of this match. He's right up there in contention. He's been fantastic.
So in this round, I'm not going to quite say that it's a 6-1 already, because there's still quite a punch packed by this Navi side. Xiao's got a Judge and Zipan on a Sheriff, but he's got a rocket launcher to back him up with the Showstopper online and activated, and this is going to force a push. As soon as this dog is used, Xiao has to either run for the hills or swing and fight. The problem is, there's players holding him the whole time. Mystic, Paranoia ready, might even catch him. No, they're just contacting it. Oh, that was a bit of a mistake. They didn't want to commit the dog early, maybe using it later as they get closer to the site, and instead forced into this fight. Judge back up, but not in time, and that is Artis right behind Xiao. He fell at the same time, another swing. And it looks like Mystic more than ready. The surprise of Nats in middle, catching Navi off guard, and everything's falling apart for the defensive side. Running for the hills now. Zipan seems to be going to A after the reveal, but Liquid, oh, they are actually going A. Are they? They were, they are, they're not. They're up and down the rope.
So unlucky! Sugetsu doesn't realize he's right above him. And now, well, after clearing out Sugetsu, there's absolutely no reason for them to go anywhere near that A site. Again, it seems like Navi, okay, that initial fight, a little bit unlucky. Artis being caught by what seems to be a player I didn't even see.
Yeah.
And, well, that neural theft gave everything up. Zipan now just to try and do a little bit of damage, but nothing to be had. Another round where Liquid have 4 players surviving, 6-1 up on that scoreboard. And well, this is where we see Navi buy. This is where we have to see a resurgence, or they might just get blitzed out of the server.
This is it, Tom. Yeah, the ball is rolling. The snowball's become an avalanche at this point with 6-1 on the board. This buy round is a massive swing for the side of Navi, and they cannot afford to miss it. Both teams coming in with the same ultimates, but Navi...
What are these guys doing? Absolute clowns. I guess they haven't got much to really analyze. They're just blitzing their opponent.
6-1.
What is going on?
Just keep it up, boys. That's all that needs to be said. But yeah, like, look, Artis and Angel very close to their ultimates. That Rolling Thunder could do a lot for Navi, and chances are Artis is going to find a pick, at least in most games. Being a little tougher this time around, but the struggle is felt by all of Navi. Round 8. And a slow default from the defenders. There's no, well, from the attackers as well, I suppose, but often we've seen Navi look for these crunch plays, for the stacks. Think of Lotus. Consistently, they were stacking sites, playing the map, and getting ahead of Team Liquid. This time, it doesn't seem like that's the case, although they are grouping up on mid now for a push.
They push him mid. Taking that control, timing onto Nats could be everything. Nats hasn't been spotted. Still sitting behind, and because of that, he's able to instantly turn. Takes 2 with him. It just seems like he's always in the right place. Mystic there as well. Nothing Navi can do is ever the right play. Just that little crib, just that little corner that wasn't checked. And the perfect timing from Nats again, and the round is already done. Angel waiting on the other side of the map. There's nothing he could do. He's not had many opportunities, it seems, to have impact in this game. And the 7-1 conversion, honestly, I don't think I've seen Navi get schooled like this ever.
I'm flabbergasted. I'm absolutely shocked by what we're witnessing. It's not to say that Liquid aren't capable of high highs, but for Navi, they reside at the top level. And now the challenge, it's not even a challenge. This battle is being concretely won by Liquid with barely a fight in it. And they're hunting him down. Oh, Angel's got a bit of trouble brewing. We're on the player cams, and Angel's died. He's lost his weapon, so he's not even going to have that carried through to the next round. This is a tough position for the defenders to work with. And the credits are extremely low, just like the round score.
Either way, it is going to be 5 in a row now. I think managing to get that early pick is this position from Nats. Just absolute filth. They're even watching for it. I didn't realize that at the time. It was just the fact that he is just waiting in these corners. And he's playing his Vibe utility, setting up the team. But they've been constantly looking for his lurks. He's been doing it all the way through. Now again, Na'Vi are going to try and pull a little bit up on the board. I said 4 or 5 rounds on their defensive side, it would still be possible. They've been maestros of the attack. The thing is, though, this Liquid they're up against just looks like a different beast altogether. The slight changes in roles, I think Nats somehow looks even better, having much more impact. Mystic as well has been sublime.
He has.
And now 7-1. Again, patiently watching to see what sort of ideas Na'Vi have had. This time they are sticking out a lot more passive, but with the weaponry advantages they have, Mitch, you understand why they're doing it. They've been getting owned, but
Seekers. That's the right play up against these slow buy. You don't want to be surprised as they would have been by that player tucked in the corner. Artist. Oh wow, he's just seen a lot of them here. Hey, hello! Where's the earphones? Zipan somehow doesn't realize Mystic's gone TP and into their spawn. They've lost the fight on Heaven as well. Oh, this is a disaster for Navi, and he swings through a smoke for another. Someone put a stop to these guys. Team Liquid are running away with this game. And a judge kill on a 10 HP player's nothing. When the trade comes in that quickly, Team Liquid 8 on the board. That round was outlandish.
The craziest thing with that is Angel on the defense used the Nightfall, which takes away the sound of Mystic's team. And for a moment it looked like it was the other way around. He just sticks it into the spawn.
He was marked and decayed while he's in their spawn. Like, he can't hear a goddamn thing.
Little Ric Flair, woo!
Neither could they somehow. What an absolute travesty. Where's the pause? I mean, you don't need to even talk about that one. It's not going to happen again in the half, I suppose, unless Mystic pops off, but...
It has been.
Oh, that can't happen. Snake bite, oh, it might save him, it might give him a chance, but Artis is too quick. There's the opening we're looking for Na'Vi.
Yeah, they've killed Nats, although Artis just continues to push. I guess it was a half clear maybe from Zipan. They checked, but just not thoroughly enough. Now, he does have the spike. If they kill him, this would still be a massive kill. I bet he wished he had that from the shadows now, because now the spike is dropped on the other side of the map. It might have still been a bit of a calamity start, but now you're going to watch the players of Liquid have to run all the way around the map. Angel's taken the spawn, does win the duel versus Enzo as well. Had to resist saying Nat, seeing a Cypher running.
I've been feeling that this series. This map at least. Oh, I thought Yumpy was dead. He turns on a dime, takes the kill, but Shao, good for one, trades it to the wall.
No way!
That's somehow Team Liquid take again. There is no stopping this horse when it's in full stride, looking for double digits in the first 11 rounds, up against Navi on their pick of split. Yeah. We have not seen Navi struggle like this in a long time.
Another way to put it, you know, the horse is just prancing today.
It is. It's a prancing horse. It's come full circle.
No, honestly, it's ridiculous. Like, they made errors in this round that lost them the spike on the other side of the map.
Yes.
Yumpy walks into an angle, not prepared for a player, still gets the kill, and then they trade out the second. It truly is looking like, well, there's no round that Liquid can't win, and no round that Navi can't lose.
Bring them back.
If anyone's going to step it up, this Crossfire's got to be it. Zipan, showstopper to work with. Angel, even tucked inside. Now the reveal goes out. Zipan, showstopper, here it is. They're chasing him down, and they get him in time. The shot from Nats, the trade from Mystic, as Angel comes through that smoke. Goes down right afterwards. The advantage now there. Traded out into the hands of Team Liquid. Zagetsu will try to recover something, and that could be the spike drop. An opportunity as he even dodges the flash. The element of surprise, perhaps the second flash also dodged. Yumpy has no reason to suspect that he's here, but his teammates clear it anyways. They come up behind, a distraction play once again, and the advantage falls in to Team Liquid's hands. I'm getting sick of saying it now, Tom. Navi, always on the back foot. And there's a pit as well.
Yeah.
Oh, that's just great.
We haven't seen any of the craziness, any of the clutches, any of the individual plays that we saw in that game versus Vitality, all of that have come out from Liquid. Desperately fighting to try and get a 9-3. Paranoia still in the hands of Mystic, playing on that backside, the only player that could in theory be isolated, and they will. But even still, there's utility on that spike to play with. Two players looking to try and wrap back round the back. Finally, somebody gets onto that defusal, but there is just no way he's getting that defuse across the line. Down to this 1v1. Shao gets the kill. I don't know if he's got time. No, I don't think he has. It's going to go off anyway. As said, there's no way that Liquid ever lose at this stage of the game. They lost the bonus, and that's it.
10 rounds on the board in the first half. No matter what level of hope you came in with today, I'm willing to say I probably had the most. This is unfathomable. The difference in Team Liquid, the difference in NAVI, a squad that I've seen win so many of these fights so many times before. But here, there's a major struggle.
Oh, this is a nice
And one round left to compete for. See if NAVI can double their score coming into this. Again, it looks like there will be an attempt. They've already pushed up B main and some utilities being held.
Boombot kiss.
But it's all off contact for Nats. Second part's actually good. It's forcing them back.
This is the thing. He's not the man you want to face off against.
They're falling back.
This was the potential Liquid. I think after last week, after Koi, even the most confident Liquid fans were having their doubts if this would be their season, but those doubts might just be revived. Kiko is going to send Angel packing.
Oh no.
Oh, Yumpy waiting, but Zipan finally manages to connect the shot. Mystic under pressure, should be going down as well, and they are stuck in a corner. They're looking like they might finally get themselves a second round. As it's left all on to Nats, and this time he's caught. It's 2 for NAVI, but they have been wrecked this half.
A real concern coming into the next half. Team Liquid 3 for 3 when it comes to pistol rounds, Tom. If they win this pistol round, I think the series is essentially over. All they have to do is wait for a pack-a-punch round with all those ults and waltz out of it with a free win. I like the result here from NAVI. They realize where these players are. They crunch them well, using their utility, firing it through, and winning their fights. It's a normal enough round, but with 2 on the board, it doesn't give you very much hope. This pistol, it's a must-win for the attacking side.
Wow. It has to be the first of many different things. A comeback of ridiculous sorts. A pistol round after losing the previous 3. To say that the chips are stacked against NAVI would be probably an understatement. They're about to have to go all in with a hand that should be considered a fold. Just hope they can sell this as some sort of bluff, and well, it hasn't worked. Kiko already forcing Sugetsu off. The rest of NAVI are going to have to try and build into the B side. The fact is, though, Mitch, I think we might just see Liquid play some sort of retake here. You can already see Enzo off the site.
Yeah, there's no need to commit bodies to it. The cross is the most that they'll be looking to compete for. And it's just damage with Enzo backing off afterwards. Always better to play the numbers in a round like this.
Spike planted.
No, if you're this guy, I guess just don't. I just swing. Just pop a guy in the head. Clean. Kiko is unbelievable. And he started this map out very slow. But he started to wake up. The Rays on the other side, though, doing much the same, upgrading the pistol, but now being pushed on with the Paranoia. Player on the side, not spotting him. Kiko a little slow to the fight. And with Yumpy falling, there's still hope for NAVI. Angel and Artis just need to run this clock down, and another kill almost guarantees it. A tough clutch for Mystic. 1 versus 2. He'll start by sticking the spike to half, but not all the way. The shot connected by Artis gives some hope, some heartbeat to the side of NAVI.
Yeah, I saw Artis spamming bullets, and for a second I was getting a little bit scared. And yeah, this very easily could have been the final blow, the knockout punch, but for Zipan and Angel and Artis managing to turn things back. It's a very small lifeline, and expectation here is to see at least a little bit of investment into these rounds from Na'Vi. Like, normally you might risk it a little bit. Even still, though, they've actually gone 2 rifles, 2 pistols. There's something they run quite regularly. And with a potential trap play set up by Liquid, they've got to be careful.
This was something that, in terms of the mid play, Navi wanted this again and again on their defensive side. They were looking to catch Liquid off. I thought Liquid were setting up for a crunch of their own. I suppose they don't even have the paranoia on Mystic in this round. Everybody keeping their credits relatively healthy. So all they can do is play that stack, that gamble that in the last map seemed to work almost every time for Navi. Bar the one where they had a retake with like 4 ultimates that they were willing to do if it went the other way. But for Liquid, it certainly hasn't worked out. You can see 3 players outside B, the spike looking to make its way there, and Sugetsu just spotting out as much as he can, which is nothing. Everybody's very tucked in.
It might pull them
That's
back. That's the thing, because they haven't seen anything. I think they're now questioning if the B side was stacked. Na'Vi definitely getting a little bit confused, but thankfully, funnily enough, Sugetsu dying there
left.
may have actually won them the round, because he cleared so much without seeing anything that Na'Vi were genuinely believing that there was a stack on the B side.
Finally, they realize there's a nade still to work with on the way back through. Outside of that, we're going to have to do a lot of work with classics, and even the player dying on A. You saw Sugetsu taking those fights. He had a ghost. It's not the biggest of weapons. In the hands of Kiko, it might be able to do something. Low HP on Angel. And the Navi side, though, you can see the setup that they're going for. As soon as there's contact from up in heaven, double peek, possibly even Artis just throwing down that stun. You're going to have a rifle on the other side. There's no real way for Team Liquid to find an advantage. Okay, the exits are through spawn. The exits are through spawn, so Team Liquid actually standing by, waiting to die to the spike. Instead, they're going to get an opportunity to make this a very costly round for the side of Navi, with all players funneling into this choke point, and there's guns everywhere on the side of Liquid. In fact, someone just tried to jump over the Navi players. In the end, decent amount of damage. It could have been all of them.
Yeah, they got both rifles out. That's the only silver lining for Na'Vi, is they managed to get both rifles, they lose a Spectre. So everything else, you're probably going to see maybe a pistol for Xiao, and then all other players with rifles in this round. So it's still not clean, still doesn't look good for Na'Vi, but
right there.
This round at least could be competitive. Funnily enough, though, the player most likely to get his ult is actually Kiko.
My favorite part is in the last map, we said if one of these teams is going to get 8 rounds in a row, it'll be Navi. Team Liquid got 8 rounds in a row.
Yeah.
So that is kind of funny. Oh, that's a quick play from Zipban. Those blast packs are on point. The point.
Oh, dear.
Driven straight into the head of Kiko. That's dead.
Xiao was just standing on top of the box. No wonder.
Shrouded step up top.
No wonder there wasn't something there all the time. Zippan's just... There's been a few moments today where Zippan's just been caught by very, very weird circumstances. Like...
No charges.
Is he peek? He's not gonna peek. Oh, you're in trouble?
Yep.
You are in a lot of trouble, Yuppie. That's unfortunate. But he was seized in. He didn't really have anywhere to go in either direction. Unfortunately, decides to go swinging into heavy traffic. Sneak up from Sugetsu, who's actually drawing rotations. This is just going to be an annoyance, and that's what he was going for last round as well. Navi just hunkering down, waiting for the rotations to pick off another player, and in the end, I think they're just going to hit that B side.
Yeah, to be honest, in this circumstance, him going even on a lurk would just be ridiculous. You don't want to give any individual fight. Timing for Enzo is going to be everything. If Angel picks him off here, the round is almost certainly done. He's been spotted, and well, there you go. You're not going to expect the second player here. Na'Vi playing things incredibly slow, but it is prevailing. Maybe going to pick up the remaining orb as well, and for Mystic, likely just going to try and hold on to the weapon. There's only so much damage he'll be able to do, and the economy of Liquid is not really in a position where he can take a risk.
Yeah, even if his teammates won't have a lot to work with next round, they can at least recover that rifle when he dies. It's not really an option if he goes for it here. And he's still up against essentially the same amount of players as he will be at the start of next round. Just add Zippan to it, but Zippan has been pretty scary. Those blast packs up early on mid. I've not seen Team Liquid blindsided like that in the game so far. Good to see him activated. Round 15 going to Navi means a 10-5, half the scoreline of their opponents on Navi's map pick, one that they have looked good on, one that they looked good on up against this squad as well. But Things have changed, that's for sure. And this new comp for Liquid seems to be paying off dividends.
Well, yeah, it's almost just change of roles. Like that's been the only real difference, is that they've put players where they're more comfortable. Yumpy playing Initiator, Nats, okay, Nats moving from Viper, or from Cypher to Viper is much of a muchness. And then Enzo taking over that role just gives a little bit more space for Yumpy to play. But again, I think Nats has been sublime the majority. Of course, the thing we talk about Na'Vi with this map is their attack. Like it's so far away from them being able to turn things around. But the way they won out this game last time was it was an 8-0 attack side. That's how they closed it. So I don't want to start premising anything yet because this has not been the same Na'Vi. They've definitely looked a lot weaker. But if they were ever going to do it, it would be on this side of the map.
Well, this is the thing, man. Like, last map, they looked lost. Or last half, sorry, they looked lost. The push and the pull of the map for Liquid worked out. How many flank plays, how many stabs in the back did we get to witness it? You just can't have that. Now, though, on the attack side, they have a little bit more liberty to work with. They don't have to be as worried about defending a side, about rotating in and playing those stacks instead. They can just stack together. And that's where Navi are most dangerous. Obviously, we've seen Sugetsu again and again moving towards this position, trying to cause some havoc for this squad. And this round in particular, he stands a very good chance. Like we said, no one else other than Mystic will have something to work with. And that includes shields. So everybody's going to be one tap for Sugetsu. And they're going down.
Yeah, it looks like they've gambled the player majority on the A site, and then gambled the weaponry and the ult on B. Well, Nade's gonna do a decent amount of damage to Enzo. Oh, that's unlucky. Only 2 shots in the gun.
30 seconds left.
Nats has been lurking in this position. Yet to be cleared. He might have himself a kill for free. That's at least something. That's an outlaw for Nats to play with. And actually, for 2 players in the server right now, that will be a 1-shot kill.
Yep. Big threat for Xiao and Zipan. They are tucked in, though. They won't be in danger. I'll tell you who is in danger is Angel. There's players in front of them. They're making noise. They're nading. But it's Mystic again to make that sneaky play. And he's gone up just in time to catch Angel. Rifle to be retrieved. Headshot delivered by the Classic. That'll spur Nats forward to try and take this kill. Snakebite down. But ultimately, that player
he almost went down.
Safely, safe as can be. Nats look for some exits, some damage on the cross. There's one already, and the rest trapped in. The flash is there, and he gets him blind. Perfect timing. Going down to the spike in the end. He could have saved the rifle, but he couldn't get out.
No, and that's the thing. That's way more valuable for Nats. He's almost got his ult online because of it. If anything, it may have been better for him to die to one of the players, but even still, I guess the only thing, again, for Navi is that they have the cash. At this stage, it's all about those streaks of rounds. You still see Xiao with 7,400 credits post-buy, which I will say maybe he should buy to get to a gun, but we'll ignore that. And they also have the ult advantage. Showstopper available for Kiko. But I do think if this next round, if we're still seeing it go in the favor of Na'Vi, is where we start to sort of worry a little bit for Liquid.
Got the spike.
I'd be inclined to agree, Tom. Yeah, it's what we said earlier. Once Navi start that comeback, they'll be hard to slow down. And it was just the excess rounds that Liquid had on the last map that allowed them to close it out. This time, they 10-2 lead. 4-0 start to the half isn't terrible. It's nothing to fret too much about. If they're left here with low credits, no results, and the showstopper expanded, that will be a disaster. Side of A is under threat. There's traps here already. The first could catch a lot of information on their way through. The spray is awkward for Enzo, and his teammate Close was stunned by the rolling thunder. Nats emerging from heaven, caught from every which angle. The nade, it's going to force them back into the spray. That's caught Yumpy down to 5 HP. A great start to this round for Navi, and they still have a showstopper if things start to go a little spooky.
I also don't think the one on the other side is really in a spot to be committed. Oh, it's actually going to be Zipan. Almost gets both. Okay, he's killed off Yumpy, who was already low. It's not the end of the world, but Navi just wanting to make sure they confirm this round, and for Liquid, it has to be the fallback. Zipan starting to come alive. I think he, especially in that first half, was the shakiest of the lot.
100%. Yeah, it was really strange to see Zipan be shut down consistently. But now, finally, we return to normality. Navi putting up a serious fight and realizing if they can drop these 2 weapons, right now, look at the credits. There's still going to be a few players able to buy. They can get a full buy next round, still have that showstopper to work with. Instead, Navi want to make sure that it's way too costly. Enzo's going to be spotted on the back of the site. But can they actually make it there in time? Beautiful to see the spike exploding. The fight is what really matters with 1 second left, and they've got him! That's Enzo down. 1 rifle lost. The op, at least, is carried through, because no one could be buying that up. Unless Nats is playing no shields with a Viper's Pit, which I would not like to see.
I also think that Kiko just wasted a blast pack at the pre-round.
Did he?
Yeah,
Oh, no.
I think he was trying to slow him down, and he's thrown it in the pre-round. He's playing op, so I don't know if that would be the most impactful thing in the world. Maybe if he needs to reposition, but that is just quite funny. Nonetheless, standpoint, if this map was to slip, I would be very worried for their ascent.
After a 10-2 lead, yeah. It's not the way you want to see it go.
And they could have won the pistol. Think about they had an advantage and they ended up losing a 3v5.
Viper's Pit off rip. That's used on mid, so 2-2 setup either side. Kiko in trouble, but he pops the showstopper, and he's caught Xiao trying to sneak his way through, but Artis on the spray catches the return. That's going to be that rifle down and out. No op for the defensive side for now, at least, and they're slowed as these smokes down make it awkward. There could be players about to burst out on B through that trap, and they want to capitalize on it if that's the case, but as we can see, Navi are not committing. They're not going to give that information away for free. Instead, looking for other opportunities, looking to move elsewhere. And that's exactly why this ult is pulled through from Enzo. The hat off his head lets him see exactly where these attackers are and where they're moving to. But do Navi now try to use that as even more of a fake? Go back the other direction.
The thing is, the A site definitely makes more sense because you've lost Xiao. You don't have the smokes anymore to sort of section off a B site take, which leaves so many open angles. The main worry, though, is Yumpy. Aggressively positioned. A nightfall could be enough to leave him in a bit of an awkward spot.
I'll find you.
But he is playing very far back within the site. Information isn't going to be guarded. In fact, it's going to be Zipan going straight off. He should be caught here and will be. And no immediate trade. In fact, nothing really found. The full Liquid squad have now rotated into position. Navi are going to try and take this to the heavens.
They've realized it's heaven, though. That flash didn't see anybody. They have to be going somewhere on the back of that ult, and it's straight up here. Zagetsu, beautiful timing, still 2 on the site. And they have to clear them out with 10 seconds left. There's barely any time. Mystic ends up going down. They take every single fight, and that proves to be a mistake. And for Navi, they capitalize on each and every one.
No, that's the thing. It was that heaven crunch. Because if they try and cross into the site, they're dead. There's absolutely 100%. No way they get through that. So a very quick adaptation from Navi to clear out the players up top. And then the remaining 2, they know where they are. They've already been hit by the Nightfall. So it's a difficult fight. You have to bear in mind, Mystic's looking to try and find a timing there. I believe he may have even still had his sound dampened by the ult. This is now getting really scary. 6 rounds in a row for Navi. We've talked about that attack side. We've talked about how terrifying. We could talk about the fact that we've seen this before from Liquid. They've struggled with the defense. We were hoping that the changes in personnel, the agent switches, will make things a little bit easier for them, but
Where are you?
that has not been the case so far, Mystic.
Bring them down.
He's alive somehow. I don't think that's going to last for too much longer. Oh my. Just
They're going to reveal he's still here. Yeah. Nowhere to go.
Bound to happen eventually.
They still had the nade as well. Like, if they really wanted to kill him. Yumpy with a Bucky. Up close. This is something that should be... In these sort of rounds, you have to kind of have that expectation. A trade in snake bites, which I actually think has left Nats completely screwed. Some of that's his own utility. It didn't quite land, and, well, Navi, this is the thing. They play such a slow, methodical attack, even in these rounds, leaving it down to just 35 seconds. Timing could be there for Kiko.
30 seconds left.
It was being watched. It's no longer being watched. They might be able to get something on the timing, but now a smoke's going to go up. A nice kill coming up from Yumpy. They're at least making this one a little bit more interesting, but the trade is there.
It's there, but it's given the spike over, and the rifle from Yumpy's still in play. They'll be able to plan safely at least, but perhaps some fights can be isolated in the meantime, and indeed they are. But it's Zagetsu isolating Yumpy, dropping him and leaving Enzo all alone. That rope is defying physics, but there's no one on the other end of it. In fact, the player up top as this smoke fades, combining with one down below, should give them the round win. Night, sweet dreams to Enzo as Team Liquid from a 10-2 lead now sit 10-9. Navi's attack side has just been on fire. And we expected them to do better here, but after such an abysmal first half, I wasn't holding out a lot of hope. Now it looks like Ascent might be back on the cards. This buy round for Liquid is one of their last chances to really stop this momentum from that attacking side.
This is absurd. This would genuinely be absurd. I have talked about the mental strength of NAVI before, but this would take it to new heights. To be 10-2 down, winning a 3v5 in the pistol, and then somehow closing out the map, I don't know. And we've seen a lot of those heroes for Liquid dissipate. Nats, Mystic, an unbelievable first half between them. Kiko there as well. They've still got to purchase in this round, and it's not over until it's over. They still only need 3 rounds to close this one out. NAVI are going to look to try and take that control. Zipan leading the charge.
Well, paranoia used early as well. A little bit of panic. Xiao TP through, using his best Mystic cosplay. They've seen the paranoia at least, heard it, but they won't catch Mystic. Nats, good from up top, but only for one. And the site now fully seized. Seekers going out, but, well, they won't be there on time to really follow up on. The defenders are split. Oh my, the push through from Kiko caught immediately.
That was the barrel of the gun.
Artis. Gorgeous stuff, and at this point, if you're Enzo and Yumpy, you've got to be calling for a save. There's no way back through. Even though we can see damage was done, chances are Navi take this, and it's confirmed now, 10-10.
But that's another scenario where we've seen someone use that from the shadows to just massive impact. Like a TP in towards a little bit further back. Like normally you expect the backside, so that might be why Team Liquid didn't have that expectation that he had managed to get that far. And because of that, you just see, I think it was Nats, had absolutely no idea that he was going to come in from behind. Enzo on the cam has got to be careful. Just a second away. Oh, okay, Angel's not going to expect it. They at least managed to hold on to the guns, and Yumpy will get another kill. He's not going to go down. So they still have some weaponry. It's definitely the truth that within the Riot Games arena, the Liquid fans are still cheering for their squad. As said, it was an 8-0 attack side last time out when Navi played against them. Maybe it stops at 9.
Maybe. Well, I mean, that 8-round streak for both teams on this map is something you don't often get to see. I feel like we're back on splits in the
something you don't want to see.
Something you don't want to see also. I'll give you that. I will give you that. But now things on the attack side are where they heat up these days. For Team Liquid, well, the struggles have most certainly been there. And if you look at how things are going right now, the momentum is concretely towards Navi. Tied up, winning all their attacking rounds, and 3 more needed for either team to take it across the line.
They've got so much cash that Sugetsu was buying himself a bonus outlaw just to go for some early fights, and then drops it. An aggressive position from Kiko. Bear in mind that Angel is alone with the spike. And it's going to be shot, but I think he's aware that someone could be close. A decent setup here for Liquid as they hold on the site, but it's nothing for Enzo. They need Mystic again to go big. The judge up close could actually stop them in their tracks. They won't expect someone this close. Surely, never mind. Angel just snaps onto the head of Kiko. He was waiting the entire round. I can't believe what I'm witnessing. The lead's about to be taken by Navi on their attack side after being 10-2 down.
9 rounds in a row. Now there might not even be a weapon to save for Yumpy.
There's no way out.
There's no way in either. Everybody waiting for him. The flank underway for those who aren't. This double swing, yeah, even though he hits the first headshot, Sugetsu's still standing. 11-10, Navi with 9 consecutive rounds take the lead back on their map. This is why they chose it. Certainly wasn't for their defensive side. When we go to an OT, we could be here all day.
Oh, well, Liquid have taken another pause. I don't even know what you say at this point.
Oh,
like, surely
be rough.
You've gone to the depths of whatever strat book you had to try and counter. Like, Navi normally spend the first probably a minute and a half just playing a default, waiting for you to make mistakes. As said, look, it's again, he's bought another outlaw just to try and catch people going aggressive. Well, they do. Already spotted. A rifle will be retrieved. They are trying. The govs are off Liquid now. wanting to get up in their face. Kiko's managed to claim the orb, but on the opposite side, they haven't been sitting there. There is a little bit of a trap. The paranoia, and then Enzo on the other side.
They ping the cam.
Face your
They know
fear!
it's there. They know they have to destroy it on the way through. Paranoia is ready, though, as they make it in. Mystic, he needs to pop that right now. Enzo needs that help, and there it is. Beautiful Paranoia, one to be found, but nothing else. And Artis doubles up. NAVI again, able to push back this aggression from Team Liquid. And now the site push has absolutely nothing left. Nats is down, and Kiko and Yumpy, 2 versus 4. Viper's pit in play. Nade is good. Artis down, that's a chance, and a real chance now. Finally, Liquid could be in with one, but that pit still has to be dealt with.
Spike planted.
The plant safely in the corner. The jump out from Xiao, good for one. And Yumpy's attempt to trade, he's too late. Too far back at this stage. Has a flash to work with. Suspects both players to be left, at least one. But they move back just in time, and now sitting, with a shorty in hand. Yumpy's in so much trouble as he makes his way in. He's being watched and deleted by Xiao. 12-10. From a 10-2 scoreline, NAVI now sit with map point coming up. 2 map points, in fact, and so far it's, you'll see the timeline in a second. It's pretty flawless, 10 in a row. Yeah. Chances are this one's going to Ascent.
I can already tell. There are people waiting on Twitter, on Reddit. They've got that little Liquid choke sign ready to go. 10 rounds on this attack side with no response. 11 rounds in a row. Only the bonus other than that. Liquid have a showstopper. They have a couple of other ults that they can try and throw in on a whim. A Rolling Thunder available and Zipan one away over on the Na'Vi side, but I'll be honest, a lot of the ults that they've used have just been a bonus. Liquid from such a commanding lead, all they can do now is hope for overtime. Hope is all they've really got, with everything else dissipating. I like this though, not shying away. 4 players now stacked up in mid, ready to brawl, ready to fight. The showstopper going to be sent out immediately. A chance for an opener, but it's only going to be a trade.
Could have been more. Look at Zipan. 5 HP after that showstopper landed. An inch to the left and he was down. But he survives late into the round. Team Liquid start to move out of position. The smoke on B main. And the rotate from Mystic towards the B side of the map. 3 players there now.
30
NAVI
seconds left.
unknowingly are walking into the wide open site. Well, not wide open. Still a player here. Mystic has ult to rotate in, but Enzo's going to need to call for that soon. There it is.
They found my
The rotation's actually towards their spawn. Cancelled in the end, but perhaps attempting to cause the paranoia yet again. 12 seconds, the Rolling Thunder goes in. Enzo caught by the smoke. Might give him a safe spot to play from. Doesn't even go for the spam initially. Now though, he's able to capitalize on more than one. Now 3 seconds, they cannot get it. It's done. 12-11. We keep on going despite the kills finally landing in Navi's hands. They will get to go one more time. The problem is, look at those credits.
Like Yumpy even went in at the end. I don't. Maybe he did. I don't know what gun he had to start with, but they've lost every single gun. Like it's sort of like we won a round, but what did it cost? Absolutely everything. Sugetsu is just hitting as well. Like these last few kills are filthy, but it's so ridiculously close. NAVI, they're gonna hold on with their last pause. The first combo breaker after 11 rounds in a row comes when they would have closed it.
Through a comeback. 10 seconds till those barriers go up, and I cannot imagine the feeling on either team right now. This has been a stressful map. Not trading it back and forth, but instead having your streaks of rounds, your dump of dopamine and the depression that follows now. Well, let's see if Team Liquid will be mourning the 10-2 lead they once had.
Xiao's gonna TP. It's the same play as last time. This time, no, he's actually stuck it as a stun! That's brilliant from Artis! Absolutely perfect to set him up for that frag. I was surprised he stuck that one. This kill could be everything. Nice work from Nats. At least bringing this back into an even scenario, but we've seen these post plants. We've seen them many a time. A judge for Kiko. a wrap back around from Angel as well, just holding into the spawn. The rest of the players don't have to look in that direction. He is, however, going to be revealed.
One kill away from Viper's Pit for Nats. Fight comes down to just Kiko. No nade, and he's only spotted one player, but he'll go for the defuse. Tapping it now, breaking the utility that comes after it. And again, baiting them into the open. One away, nade, 4 bullets, but he can't land them. Angel, the man to close the map for NAVI and bring us all the way to Ascent. This team was on what your IGL wants you to do. We'll hear that positivity better stay, because that is a tough way to lose a map. The worst way to lose a map, and now you got to go again.
Well, that's the difficult thing. Luckily for them, they are going into a map they're confident on. NAVI, though, are going to stick to that attack side. Again, we've seen this, we've said it. Both teams go to the attack. An instant push through. Zipan already finding that first. The one place we've seen most rounds go is those pistols. Kiko desperately trying, and eventually will take out Artis. And actually, Sugetsu, this is bold. This is risky. He's low on HP. Because of that, he's going to be stuck out on his own, and they're going to be able to even things up.
The HP disadvantage for NAVI, but they're using their guns to their advantage. 3 players tucked up close. Flash is good, but actually, the paranoia back in return has left Team Liquid without a leg to stand on.
Shadows traveling.
Smoke down, but the players are already ahead of it. Unfortunately, blooming in Kiko's face makes it tough to take any fight. And from a 3vx, NAVI walk out with the win. Not even losing a player. Lots of damage done, but a pistol win for NAVI.
Yeah, I think the interesting thing going into this matchup is going to be that compositional difference, because obviously one of the problems when you're playing up against that Cypher, if you're on a Jet, it's getting into the site. Like, they're going to have utility that's almost used to counter you. Whereas Kiko's util basically gets him past that, gets him away from all of that utility. The thing is, though, this isn't the first time they've used, and that's always the question I have when I go into a team running a Yoru comp, maybe on a map that's not necessarily as common, is your opponent going to have adapted or watched and seen what you've been doing and found ways to counter it? Well, Yumpy is dead.
He's accepted.
I think he just accepted that he was dead and would rather go down to a fragment than anything else, but I want to see a little bit more fight in him.
Even just to see how many players are there. But either way, they're stacked up towards here, looking for the fights and finding them, unfortunately for them. Like this position from Nats, just on the other side of the wall, and he'll get himself through for one eventually. But 10 HP, when he eventually recovers that rifle, and the spray from Xiao is more than enough. Damage is the name of the game, and it looks like that game is being won by Liquid so far. If they can drop another player, this could become decently costly for the side of NAVI, and still some potential to take them out. Great recon, but they're not looking the right way, hoping that that would clear them, and that Enzo wouldn't be quite as close as he was. They know where Mystic is. They've got that information on both players to work with. They don't want that. I think it was only a Spectre dropped out in the open, so even recovering that wouldn't be that big of a deal, but with a headshot to Enzo, it's now unrecoverable, and Mystic's got it all to do. 10 seconds till a smoke. Doubt he even lives that long. Oh, needs to get in here and try to find some value. Oh, and he's behind Artis. Perplexing.
I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. Someone misses a jump. And it almost looked like it confused Artis. And that's the thing. It's the same as before. There's only 2 rifles, but they have a Spectre and a few pistols. But because he kills a rifler, that extra kill is actually so valuable.
Yes.
And because of that, Navi's now going to come in with 3 rifles for this round. Definitely not anywhere near as strong as a bonus round we've seen from them before.
Those weaknesses are there. Yoru early on mid, but I see the gate crash was put down before the barriers went up. So only spotting some early control. Noise being made on B, though, drags him over there. I'm curious to see the strategy behind Artis and Sugetsu being so slow out on mid. It feels like NAVI are leaving the door open to go back if they find some space around middle. With a Cypher in play, that's never going to be too easy without giving it away. But adding this extra arm of a short push, is there any utility to support it, though? In fact, the clone going through causes problems. Artis has to turn from the flash, gives away his position. And the double swing, oh, that could not have been any better time.
Yeah, it's the opener that Liquid were looking for here. Again, any defensive rounds, especially with this Yoru, is going to be extra valuable. Now, they do somewhat have that double sentinel in the form of Viper, basically just being a stronghold on this map. Angel taking the space, but a little cubby left. Paranoia through, no chance. Kiko wins that fight as well. Zipan is there to find a trade, but still that advantage sticks with Liquid.
That's only the first player they've dropped. Not going to get the information of 2 players on the site, but I think they've garnered that now. Already dropping
left.
Kiko, looking for Mystic. He's tucked behind the boxes, waiting for support. In fact, no, he's not, swinging out ahead of them, and they go one by one. Every fight, one on the other side for Navi. The Odin spray, it's not great. It finds one, but he's revealed. He can be spammed right back at 23 HP, an easy kill for anyone that finds him in open combat. Sagetsu's in the same boat, though, retreating over towards A main, so he can't be spammed down. And Zipan with 85. It's a good position.
Oh,
underneath.
I was about to say.
Wasn't going to find anything either way. Those players are too far away. The reload needs to come in before the attempt is taken, if it's even taken. That spike is ticking away far too quickly at this point. Enzo is hightailing it to save that Odin to the next. Navi, not only 2-0 off the pistol, but a third now followed up on, even despite the damage that was done to them. Tom, you mentioned this wasn't as strong of a bonus as what we've seen in the past, yet the result is as strong as can be.
Yeah, that for me is that's a Zipan round. And this is one of the agents, weirdly, like I think we've always talked about him on Raze, we've talked about him play like multiple different agents. I think his KO on Ascent is one of my favorites. Like, he really just seems to play confidently, have those extra flashes, extra bits of utility for the team as well, but they just found the exact entry they needed onto Kiko. That was the one that sort of turned the round on its head. The streak of attack rounds for Navi, unfathomable on that map of Split. Now, they've started off strong again. And that's the thing, they've never, I don't think in this entire series have they won the pistol, follow-up, and bonus. I think this is the first. They've always been fairly slow to start in these maps thus far.
Here.
You can see that the good old Odin isn't backed up by all too much. Classics across the board for Team Liquid, having lost that previous round. It leaves them with a pretty hefty disadvantage economically. They'll reset for the next, conceding a 4th. But there could still be some fight in them. Not just on the Odin, but we've seen the Classics do damage before. The problem is, Navi are incredibly vigilant. Even in these fights here, where you see artists go up close to spam the door, you already have support. Zipan is covering it. I think we even had Sagetsu further back, ready for the fight. So if you look to punish some of this early aggression from Navi, you'll likely end up swinging into many more players than you're prepared to deal with. The only problem I see is that Navi are gearing up for a B play, and there's only one player there. It is the player with the weapon, but he's isolated, and luckily Enzo decides to reposition. He's back in for the fight. There's one.
Okay, he's very low on HP though. Even taking a gamble fight would have its risks about it. And he doesn't have a mass amount of credits either, so it may even just be a situation where he looks to actually hold onto the gun. For the rest of the players, it's all about damage. How much can they do? They managed to get quite far into the site, but the counter utility from Xiao has done well. They are picking them off one by one. Enzo's still looking to fight this, as Nats has managed to retrieve a gun, but even that element of surprise isn't really achieving too much. A nice extra shot, and again, some cost created by Enzo, but he will go down to it. And I wonder now, is he going to have enough for another one? I think maybe just about. Yeah, he's not going to have the full shields or maybe the full utility behind it.
Well, 4-0, and as we popped into the coach cam there, I've never seen Doom Bros look so upset. They've just been on a streak of rounds to win the last map, and the still Doom Bros. The one that didn't change his name, didn't concede it. I wonder if they solved it with rock, paper, scissors. Who got to keep it?
That would have taken years.
Still going to this day. Yeah, of course, the coaches of both teams twins, and they used to have the same name as well, because just to confuse people.
They were the Doom Bros.
Even now, sometimes you'll see them in a different jersey. It's perplexing. Navi 4-0. The 5th round sees Artis dropping off rip. The reposition from Kiko immediate.
This is the value he can bring with the operator. Mystic maybe sticking around a little too long, but he will escape. That is a lamp. And now they have to be wary. Kiko can not only reposition, but he also has the ult Dimensional Drift available for a retake if it gets there. But that's absurd. Xiao just so quick with it. Doesn't even allow him to escape. That's been the thing. Kiko's been good for the opener, but the follow-up has always been a response from Navi.
I know exactly.
Very clean. He just happened to pick the one of the two angles that he wasn't set up for, and the flick doesn't land. Smokes down. Up for, and the flick doesn't land. Smokes down, information to play with, and the flank underway. Look at the position of Sugetsu, it's nasty. He could get so much value already dropping Enzo, but the sight hold is still on. Yumpy standing strong for now, forced back by the flash, still to take a lick of damage though. Those bullets whizzing past him, player in heaven. And it's, oh, the cam goes up to distract, but it doesn't work. The adjustment is near perfect.
Look where the spike
in
is.
the end, he falls, 12 seconds left, and they rotate around to get the spike. They'll make it back just in time. Nats has to try to deny them. Well, doesn't have to, but he probably should. He's seen both, the swing out, and he's getting closer, trying to isolate the fight while the plant was coming through. But Sugetsu's a little too quick with his third kill of the round. NAVI now lead 5-0.
Yeah, he's been one of the major reasons for their resurgence.
Oh, that's nasty.
They're so quick with it. Look, you can even see it's a missed shot, but it's an attempt to TP away from Kiko, and he just doesn't even get that opportunity. Again, it takes a 5-round streak for Liquid to take themselves a pause. And that's the thing, they've not been without opportunity. That round had moments again where it looked like it could swing into the favor of Liquid, but every player on to end up here for Liquid. But that's the thing, this series has been bold. They were happy to go into split. They took them down on Lotus. Like, Liquid have not been shying away. I wonder if we're going to see an ult combo here. Hunter's Fury available for Enzo. It's actually just going to be the push-up Raw! They don't have anything! Oh, this has just sprayed them all down! I expected to see something off the rip, maybe a Hunter's Fury into a dimensional drift, but they just got walkabouts, and they meet Artis, and they meet their demise.
Oh, that TP secured the site, that's for sure. Xiao's in with the plant and a 4 versus 2. I don't expect to see too much movement over on that A site. Look like New Year's at Times Square. These guys are just staying still. And realistically for Navi, there's no need to even go hunting them down at this point. They're gonna wait, see if the retake is on, and then they're gonna be too far away, at least you'd imagine, for anything to really go. That's what most teams would do, play it safe. But instead, Zipan is going walkabouts. Now, he has been hurt.
Insane amounts of credits as well. That's the thing, they're already building up a severe bank after the amount of streak. They take this gun off of Enzo, and it could be ropes. He is going to be able to clear out one. On the other side, Nats is just chilling. Like, he has no plans to move from within his setup. It might be an idea for Enzo to try and back into it, get into a spot where he's safe, and I don't think they're going to be able to shut him out from here unless he takes a risky peek. It is going to be the swing around, and no, he's going to go down. That's so worth it for Artis. He's going to get himself Blade Storm, and they're going to remove another weapon. Now, it's still going to be purchased back up, but I think there's actually going to be a drone missing for Enzo, so a crucial piece of utility missing.
This was a bloody disaster, this main fight. For Artis picking up all 3.
Nice,
But they've got all their ults online, so you kind of expect this to be a good round for them.
Oh, good. Yes, all the ults. Fantastic. It's worked so well in the past.
Yeah, you know, this is the first time we've seen, like, just everybody, Men in Black.
Erase your memory.
Erase the memory.
We've never seen this before.
This is them coming in with 4 ultimates, and Yumpy's now 1 away from a Viper's Pit, which is weird. I distinctly remember him being 2.
2, yeah. Did he get a kill?
Shadows traveling.
No, he didn't. Well, it's been tough, man. At this point, NAVI, they look like they've got their hands on the reins, but we said it was a last round that was really going to be a litmus test. Instead, they're able to buy up here, somewhat of a force, still having those ults to work with. There's still a chance for Team Liquid, that's for sure. But NAVI have just been dominating in these duels, and it's this man in particular. That last round, he found so much. Massive 4K, and with Artis, it's often repeatable.
Well, Sugetsu again is kicking things off with the sniper, although it's saying that I don't see a backup weapon. Good snake bite. It seemed like for a second Artis was going to try and play through it. He's taken quite a bit of damage. Got his Blade Storm online, but I can't see him using it. Yumpy, it seemed to work last time. We're going to try it again. Utility removed a little bit too late, but now Navi, a late round switch up as they now head towards the B side, which is currently empty. It's only now the realization of Enzo making it through. Nats on that wraparound, but they have to get into the site. There's now 2 players there and 1 holding the cross.
Team Liquid seem to have the time on their side, that's for sure. Hunter's Fury slowing them down further. They're focused on that Hunter's Fury, not seeing Mystic up close, but he's dropped. And Enzo goes down. Now the site is under serious threat with the plant already through. Kiko can't deny it. And where can he even go? There's no gate crash. He's got to commit to this, and he's caught by Angel, turning from the flash. Yumpy, 1 away from Viper's Pit. Even still, and a chance for him to at least farm that online, but I don't think this round is going to flip into his favor unless NAVI are feeling like throwing. This is very much cemented in a 4v1. There's the Viper's pit online. He's on his way towards the site. This could get a little bit spooky and scary. The time is very limited, and Angel puts an end to any hope for Team Liquid in this round and perhaps in this half. 7-0. Already guaranteed the win at halftime, and Navi's opponents don't have any money.
This is the thing. That was the round where they committed 3 of the ults. One of them actually ends up getting Kiko killed. Enzo, I felt like his Hunter's Fury was used at the right place, right time. Like, he was ready to try and shut them down as they pushed in. I think they went into that site with 15 seconds left. And I'll be honest, it didn't even look that uncomfortable when they planted. There's not many teams that could do that, but you have to look at Liquid and go, yeah, you had the read. You had 3 players there.
Counter Hunter's Fury, right, from Angel, got him down. I like that idea as well. You see the Hunter's Fury boathouse. He ain't got very many places he can go. So, very clean to punish that. But realistically, for Navi, there has been, I mean, this is feeling very much like half one of Split. Team Liquid couldn't put a foot wrong, even when things seemed to be set up for Navi's success. When flanks came through, it didn't matter. Every single time Team Liquid were able to come out on top. This time, though, it's also a different vibe, because I don't think the Navi, bar the last round, where it's still like a crunch and maybe a coin flip with how everything's going down, the lack of information. So far, though, in most of the rounds, I don't feel like it's come as close as it did on a lot of the Split rounds, where it was a swing either way.
I think the bigger thing as well is, I don't know if I believe in Liquid to have the same mental fortitude as NAVI. Like, I think if this is a 10-2 or worse half, it's done. Like, I don't think it will go back the same way. Like, maybe I'll look like a fool, maybe I have egg on my face, but, well, I already do. But realistically, there needs to be a response from Liquid, and it needs to be very soon. Again, 30 seconds left. That's almost an immediate kill. In fact, it is. Kiko's gone, and just look at Artis waiting patiently for his moment. That's one. Even makes it back through the smoke, but Yumpy's at least put him down. This is the weakest of buys we've seen so far from Liquid, though. It might have looked like there was a moment of hope, and look at the HP. Look at it. 6, 15, 24. There were chances in this round again. Can they capitalize on them?
Right now, it's coming down to spams. The one-way makes it hard to push back out. Capitalizing will be next to impossible, and with Mystic up top alone, 1 versus 4. Do we even go near the question of damage? The answer is delivered before we can ask the question. 8-0 for Navi. An utterly unbelievable start to this map, crushing Team Liquid. And as a full buy comes up for Liquid, they can finally invest those credits. There is going to be a timeout called. They need to get it together, because this could be a quick end to an otherwise lengthy series.
Well, bear in mind, what, it was...
Sassy baka.
There's the right words. Alma put his jobs in danger. One hell of a comeback.
He might outdo Mini. Mini came back, what was it? 11-3? He didn't lose 20-1. That's slightly worse. A nice start, though. Artis gone, trying to capitalize off aggression within a Viper's pit. He did it a couple of rounds ago. But this is the thing. I won't be able to tell you the stats off the top of my head, but it just feels like the Na'Vi 4v5 conversion in this. Well, it is definitely better than Liquid's 5v4 conversion, which is currently at 0.
And that's something that I think Navi do better than most teams, is play from disadvantages. You kind of need that.
It is normally Angel dead, though.
Yeah, you kind of need it when you have Angel on your team, but we'll see.
And it has been Ardis most of the time. We saw the Kiko opener with the Operator as well. Now, information found. They sent Nats over to claim it. They know that there's a cam here somewhere. He's very close. He doesn't know how close, but he is very, very close. As the rest of the team look to build up on short. Going to try and avoid the drone, but I don't think it has been. Information has been gathered up, and again, this now has to be a commitment. 35 seconds left. Finally, he finds the cam. Odin homed in. It could be the perfect moment.
It's a nasty angle he's got there. Spotting the first and taking him down. Recon up top. It'll catch him on the way through if they're not careful, and, well, by the looks of it, they weren't. 56 HP left on Zipan, but they spray back, following the Tracers. Another kill for Zipan. And Xiao left alone. He's found another, and we're down to a 1v2, but 7 HP. And time is of the essence. He has to plant here and now, dodging the spams. It looks like he might even get it down, but then the shorty comes out. And at long last, Team Liquid have made it on the board.
Yeah. Again, this time they actually capitalize off the read. They take early B main control, they get the opener onto Ardis, and then they have that stack up on short. The Odin perfectly positioned, and the utility great from Enzo as well. Buys them so much time. And this is the risk. This is finally the punish on what has been an incredibly slow default from NAVI. That's the risk that comes behind it. There has just been no punishment thus far.
This goes here.
Well, is it a blip, a flash in the pan, or is it repeatable for the side of Team Liquid? It has been a struggle so far.
Flash in Zapan.
For Kiko, Yampi,
Just
missed it. Yeah. I was choosing to ignore it. You got Enzo leading Team Liquid in the fragging department, and much as I love the guy, that's probably not what you want to see.
Revealing area.
8-1. Reveal is decent, and they're focused on the clone, so actually it's an easy kill. Enzo able to just spray it down and take one, take two. In fact, this Xiao falls. And sure, the trade is there eventually. We're down to a 3v3, but Kiko, he hasn't actually got a gate crash to get out of there, but he's able to just walk away.
Here.
Again, they've managed to keep this man advantage. Spike left back, Sugetsu trying to find some sort of response. Now he does have neural theft, an opportunity to get the information of where these players are stacking up.
I have retrieved the spike.
But he will need a corpse to do it. And it doesn't look like Liquid are just going to sit back. They're actually re-aggressing into mid. Now this could win them the round, or it could give a way back in. Sugetsu's timing is going to be absolutely everything, but the shots are whiffed. Finally, they're given a lifeline. Yumpi connects the shot. And Liquid are going to have their second. An 8-4 still possible. We've seen them on the attack of this map before. Maybe they found just that little bit of life.
Wasn't worried for a second when I saw Sugetsu peek that.
No,
Not even for a second.
of all the people as well, like he's normally the crispiest in the aim department. So the fact that they definitely got a lifeline there.
Here.
Wall for the way back in or the way back out of B. Looks like we're going to have a little bit of a spam. Who could have seen that one coming? But again, Navi have just avoided this in all the early rounds. They much prefer to fight for that mid control. This time, it'll be push up and break that trap. We've seen this a few times. Just that early denial of any information for Liquid is so important. Last round, they had B locked down with Nats, just having his traps across it. You can't have them have that much security.
This is just part of their protocols at this point. And so it's got to be careful with them droning. Now holding position. Again, Navi. We've not seen any fast space. A nice wallbang will clear him out. And actually a re-spray through the next bit of the wall. Perfectly predicts where Ardis is going to be standing. As said though, he's been going down in a lot of early rounds. It's been the response from the likes of Zipan. Util gone. Still two players at the back of this site. One of them with that Odin in hand.
Luckily on a safe spot. That Odin can't get him through two walls. But as they push up closer, it could be a real problem. Kiko, 30 HP, still with a decoy. It's going to be used to try and draw their eye. The players at the switch, very wall-bangable position. But they don't really have the comfort level to fire on it for now. Double stack up in spawn as well. Cage is up, they're fighting spawn. They're going right into Yumpy. And a quick double secures the round. No way for Angel. No, surely! He's only got two more players, though. He could try to force these fights. 8 seconds. No. Waiting for the overpeak, waiting for the mistake. And it doesn't seem to be coming anytime soon.
Finally. 3 rounds in a row now. I think, genuinely, I don't say this often, that Odin has been making a massive difference. The fights in mid, the constant reposition, the utility behind it as well. It has been a part of the resurgence, and I'm sure that will upset an awful lot of people. Just as much as you love it, there are a lot of people who hate it.
Well, they should get good.
3
I will
to 8. Even still, Na'Vi close out this next round a solid half, no doubt. Well, even if they lose it, but as said, Liquid, they've still won the majority of pistol rounds. If there was going to be a way into this match, getting a few defense will be enough. Kiko's gonna garner the extra information. Hunter's Fury actually gonna be used to try and kill him off, although it's not really working. Never mind. Actually, Xiao goes down. I thought they were dodging it perfectly, but then Kiko's left. He doesn't have a way back.
That's not really what you want to see. Even going back to mid after seeing two, it's just wide open. Gay Crash not being down already, bit of a disaster early.
It's also, his death has told Na'Vi where the remaining players are. The flash is perfect. Mystic, he has to get out of there. He has to TP the fragment, not quite. Very, very lucky to escape that one. And now Enzo left alone. He's going to be traded out this time. He's still done an unbelievable amount of damage, but it keeps things fairly even.
And you have tags from that Hunter's Fury, shock darts, and of course, almost most importantly, that last spray. It's made it doable, workable. But remember, Mystic was tagged down to 2. He's not going to be the most useful on the way back through. Even the smoke likely to land on main. Doesn't section them off, as these players are very much focused on the site itself. And Nats has just gone crazy. Diving down with a shorty in hand, but now he's the last man standing. 30 health, 1 bullet to drop. The 2 players to do it. And it's Angel on a quick shot through the wall. 9 rounds for Navi. An attack side cemented. And now Liquid have the same challenge. They need to have a streak of rounds. They need to dominate the early quarter, the early half. And if they don't, Navi will already have secured the win.
Oh, they managed to...
That's not a good sign. Stay positive. That's what Emil was saying earlier. Stay positive.
Hey, I'm sure he was very positive at 10-2 on split.
Yep. What about 10-3, 10-4, 10-5?
Maybe not so much.
10-10.
But either way, we've seen them. As said, we've mentioned it throughout this match. Both teams have been better on their attack. We saw it. It was proven on split, no doubt. No one's forgetting that one in a hurry. But it starts with a pistol. Similarly for Na'Vi in the last map, it starts with that pistol. For Liquid, it would shrink the gap. Most likely to 4 rounds, but they now have to face off against this man on the defense. Early middle control and B, looking like a split. And some fake sound being sold, but doesn't seem like Na'Vi are too worried about that.
They're still hunkered down. Actually going to the back of B site. 1 player falls back. That's Artis. The numbers on site. It's definitely favoring Team Liquid, and they're just flooding it. Zipan on the back, right-clicked, and then taken down from the other angle. Another distraction play. Artis comes in and comes out just as quickly. Quick shot from Kiko. And Angel and Sugetsu, they've got it all to do. Nats is very aggressive. Nats is extremely aggressive. I thought that was a nasty spot to sit in, but he goes running around the corner. He's gonna get shot in the back. Oh, what? What?
That's one of those moments where you sit there and I'm like, I'm in my head, I'm going, Zilf, I feel like we're watching the wrong guy. Like, I'm sat there going, surely we want to watch the guy in the clutch, you know, the guy who's in that sort of 1v4 scenario. Like, that's what I'm thinking in my head. I'm sorry, Zilf, because
he mouse lifted! He mouse lifted as well! No right to be that quick. Bacon's left the room after that one. I don't blame him. Oh my, what a round from Nats. You know, when you're 9-3 down, making plays like that on 40 HP, you're not going to see many players who go, I got this.
Especially, he's had a really rough first half. Like, we've hyped up Nats throughout this series. He was great on map 1. On the first half, map 2, I think he was even better. Probably the best player in the server by a hefty margin. Him and Mystic just running around, fragging. The last 20 or so rounds, yeah, it's been a rougher time, but definitely a good sign to see him waking up. Of course, for Na'Vi, this round is all about damage. Zipan, he's got himself an extra pistol to play with. They've definitely got some information. There's no doubt about that. But there's not really much you can do with it. They're in mid. Not going to help them too much.
So I was kind of thinking there's not much going on in terms of these fights with the Classics, expecting to start off by saying Liquid are steamrolling them. But in fact, they've taken the opening duel on the side of NAVI, found it with a
30
classic in
seconds
hand, not even taking that much damage, and Liquid yet to really find much space. They've got to break the door open, and now they look to take the site. Players all over the place, though. This is a target-rich environment, I'll tell you that. Zipan good for one. Great shot out of Zipan for another. Angel's just dancing around the site, trying to stay alive. Shock dart for even more damage, but he'll fall eventually. And Artis, the last man standing, Dash still online, Shorty in hand. If he wins this, I might walk out. Oh, he's managed to upgrade to a Ghost. That's more doable for sure.
Again, though, just there shouldn't be many, if any, opportunities, especially with that one where Misty's going to make sure of it. At least a decent resurgence from Liquid, but again, still a very costly round. They'll be able to retrieve a couple of the rifles, and I'll see what the investment's going to be here. Just buying up around what they can. Enzo still with a few credits to spare, but of course NAVI are now coming in with a purchase. These shots from Zipan were fantastic. As I said, I just think back to the sort of early rounds of Split. He was having a really poor showing, especially for someone of his capabilities. Now right up there, and there hasn't really been a missing piece. I guess the only arguable quiet one has been Artis, and he's been wrecked in most early rounds.
Attack side start as well. You know, I'll give him the little bit of slack.
Toxin screen down.
This is a round that I didn't expect to see an Odin out of Team Liquid. Zipan, oh no! Diving in for so much value. An Artis, quiet as he may have been, he's answered the call here. 3 kills and 10 rounds for NAVI. That was a quick one.
Yeah, straight into the double digits. They've already broken that combo for Liquid, but as Sword mentioned, it is only going to be a bonus. The thing is, they had some heavier investments there. That Odin in onto Enzo is going to leave him with a piece or two missing here. Obviously, he's on the attack. He cannot drop the drone like he did on the defensive side. You just can't do it. It's not something you can afford to risk. On the other side of things, that Odin has fallen into Angel's hands. And NAVI are looking to put some early pressure. Now, there is a cam waiting. Nats has also missed that jump, so they should know he's there.
Well, they definitely do now. Look at that. Hello? Do they? Are they aware? I mean, the trade comes out eventually, but
yeah,
he got so much more value, and he even tagged Zipan down to 60.
Hey, it's through a cage. I don't think it could have been any more crystal clear. I love the idea, by the way. Has the cam up top. Has the cage popped and then wants to just kill the guy over the top. He's lucky that the person below him actually had a judge.
I think it was trying to smoke or something at that moment. Just caught the timing of the round perfectly. They've already used a decoy. That's out of the game. Having run up through mid, some utility waning, but plenty on the way back through. Recon up for Enzo. Most importantly, I think Paranoia for Mystic. It's going to clear a lot of space on the way through, but NAVI are far back. They're conceding the space and control. No smoke for the cross. So they are going to have to rely on that orb, but it's up. The toxins ticking away. Spray is good for Angel. And his co-pilot Irasagetsu, they're doing a lot of damage, and now as they walk through, this could be easy pickings for the Odin. Angel rattling them off, and 3 kills later, NAVI pushed to 11.
Yeah, I think we're seeing what happens the other way round is when Liquid try and pull off a NAVI round. It's like, yeah, they go in with 25 seconds left. We could do the same thing. And they just got absolutely shredded. These passive positions, and also a little bit of comedic irony of Angel destroying them with a weapon of their own design. It was picked up in the previous round after it was dropped. And these are very different faces. The duality of the twins. The face of Eric has not been that happy for the majority of this game, but it's changing now. Kiko's already getting tagged by shock darts.
Yeah. It's wild. Right now, the top fragger on this server is Enzo. I didn't expect to say that today. Up against NAVI, players like Artis, who clearly wants that title back. He's picked the first. Clean as can be with the headshot and the spike down on the floor. Here comes Angel, the backup, and he's being seen just as he walked through the smoke. But he makes it out.
That's something you've never done with an Odin.
What's that?
Pull out a shock dart.
Well, that's true. That's true. You don't need a shock dart. You've got an Odin.
Okay, well, Zipan is going to deny them. Going to try and smoke him off. The knife is going to remove at least a little bit of their utility. 2 of them spotted. Maybe expecting them to be a little bit further forward than they are. You can see that B-site defense is exactly the same as last time. More aggressive positions, but with that clock ticking down, I'm getting nervous. They don't currently have a smoke, but one's just come back online for Mystic, so they can put it into place, but it seems like they're just trying to sell this ruse. But you can see already,
30 seconds
with the
left.
time left on the clock, Zipan is more than happy to just sit back a little bit later. And there's still a paranoia onto Xiao. That's the thing I'm most worried about.
That flash not even intended to be followed up on. The paranoia as well, just slowing them down. Putting the pressure on. Xiao dodges a paranoia back in the other direction. Yumpy not able to find anything. That is an Andalucia flawless for 12-5. Now 7 chances for NAVI to close out. Or we're going to be going 2-1, closing this map out. After NAVI, we're 10-2 down on map 2. It looked done and dusted.
Yeah.
We thought a pistol was going to be the final nail in the coffin.
As I said,
and they have emerged from the dead.
3v5, they won the pistol, and then they didn't look back. They haven't looked back. This team has always had an unbelievable resilience. I think the credit has to be given to Angel in that regard. Never down, never out, never beaten until that 13th round hits the scoreboard. And well, if you watch them play versus Forza, sometimes there's another 15 rounds even after that. An aggressive push for Ardis. You can see the confidence this team is playing with now. A completely different look.
Portal closed.
And on the other side of things, it looks like Liquid right now are trying to beat NAVI at their own game. Let's play defaults, let's play slow. You are trying to beat Angel at his own strategy. You're reading from the book he wrote, and it is just not working. These last 2 rounds have not been close. You've been running in with 15 seconds left, and now you have pieces of your weaponry missing, and they're still playing these slow, defaulty rounds. Look at the util that's still left. A fragment for Zipan, flashes, the knife, paranoia. They are holding their util knowing that they're trying to run in late.
Team Liquid tried to read from Navi's book. Let's see if they face off against the scissors to their paper. So far, NAVI have not been able to be caught on this map. And even as Ardis falls, it seems the round is slotting in their favor. 13-5. NAVI come out on top. The brothers might have been hard to separate earlier on, but the teams are something